I stop thinking about what they think of me. Who knew that we had the power to be whatever we wanted? Light up, just light up, illuminate you. So light up, just light up, throw your fears away. 'Cause I stop thinking about what they think of me. Yeah, I stop thinking about what they think of me. You know that we have the power to be whatever we So how do we close this door? And how do you switch up your mindset when rain doesn't care if today you planned a picnic? But I stop thinking about what they think of me. Yeah, I stop thinking about what they think of me. Who knew that we had the power to be whatever we wanted? Light up, just light up, illuminate you. So light up, just light up, throw your fears away. 'Cause I stop thinking about what they think of me. Yeah, I stop thinking about what they think of me. You know that we have the power to be whatever we
I'm walking on a tightrope, and I wish I could touch the ground. My future's covered in smoke, but my head is up in the clouds. And maybe this what I feel.
Excuse me, LaCroix and paleontology dog. I can show up as late as I goddamn please. And to be clear, it says very clearly in the description over on YouTube that I will be starting at 12:50. So no, I am not late.
After one bad day, and I'll be okay. But my life is in the worst place, and I can't wait for heartbreak from my mistakes. I don't wanna burn these bridges. 'cause my heart can't take these heights. I need your love with me for life. I need your love, I need your love with me for life. Sorry it ended this way. I need your love with me for life.
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. How's everyone doing? Everyone good? Everyone good? How is everyone? Everyone good? Everyone good? We're going to start off today's stream with an announcement. Okay? That announcement is bonk. LaQual gets a bonk immediately. And Paleontology Dog. Paleontology Dog, I am deeply disappointed in you. Deeply disappointed in you. Okay, how dare you? You get a bonk too. Bonk. All right. So how is everyone? How's everyone doing? Everyone good? Everyone good? Retro Asher, they were like, he's late. Where is the jester? Blah, blah, blah. No, yeah. Technically over on Twitch, I was late because, I mean, technically they're right. They're right about the Twitch thing. But on YouTube, I was not late. And I refuse to be disrespected in this manner. Shame on you. Okay, anyway, love you all very much. How's everyone doing out there? How's everyone doing? Everyone good? Everyone good? Everyone doing well? Everyone good? Okay, let's see who we have here. Friday military action stream. Woo! Let's do it. Okay, yeah, you already got bonked, LaQual. You already got bonked. Okay, let's see here. Shame on you. All right, let me see who we got here. Let me take a little drink of my coffee. So, yay. Okay, we have In Your Groove. Hello, In Your Groove. First one in here. Great job, In Your Groove. You get a boop. Boop. Good job. LaQual. I'm not even going to talk about you, LaQual. How dare you? Okay, I'm just kidding. Retro Asher is here. Hello, Retro Asher. I'm also very glad you're here, LaQual. You know I am. All right. Hello, Dolly Boy. Dolly Boy is here. Dolly Boy. I think Dolly Boy has been busy recently. I feel like I haven't heard Dolly Boy talk as much recently or seen him talk as much in chat recently. Maybe I'm going crazy, but hello, Dolly Boy. Paleontology Dog is here, of course. All right. Of course. All right. Hello, Paleontology Dog, I guess. Hello, Diego. Mithril is here. Hello, Mithril. So glad you're here, Mithril. So glad you're here. All right. As always, Body Swap is here. Body Swap. Love having you here, Body Swap. You know I do. Okay. Hello, Outer Signal. All right. Who else am I? Gwen is here. Except Gwen isn't really here because Gwen is watching a trial or something. I guess Gwen doesn't like me. I'm just kidding, Gwen. I know you can do like multiple things at once. I know how you are. Anyway, it's great. Hello, Gwen. So glad you're here, okay? You should stay around. Make sure you're here, though, for the Kahoot, Gwen, because there might be a question that I want you to see in it, all right? There might be a question I want you to see. All right. Hello, Sasha Khan is here. Hello, Sasha Khan. Okay, I am jester maxing. I'm already jester maxing today. You can see, except I don't have the makeup on, but whatever. It's okay. Maybe I'll put on the makeup tomorrow. We're doing some jester maxing out here today. Got to max out the jester because we got a lot of silly things happening in the world, okay? A lot of silly, mass murder and death and stuff. A lot of silly stuff like that. Okay. Did I miss here? Retro Asher. I said hello to Retro Meowzord. I said hello to Meowzord. Hello, Meowzord. LaQual. Egg and cheese is here. Egg and cheese. I just had egg and cheese. Literally, I just had egg and cheese. So glad you're here. Isn't the first time I've seen you today. Isn't the first time I've seen you because I ate you earlier. That sounded inappropriate, but you know what I mean. I literally had eggs, cheese, and ham and spinach and stuff. It was delicious. So glad you're here, egg and cheese. SoCal is here. Hello, SoCal. Oh my God, the whole crew is together. This is crazy. I don't know why anyway, whatever. I'm so glad you're here, SoCal. Hello. Body Swap says, I'm so sorry for my rudeness, oh great Sam. You know what, Body Swap? I forgive you. You get a boop. Boop. Great job, Body Swap. Body Swap, as always, you all need to take a note from Body Swap. Although Body Swap was disobedient yesterday. All right. I have a long memory, body swap. I remember you got a bonk yesterday or a bromp. I think you got a bromp yesterday, whatever the case may be. All right, Dolly Boy, to be fair, I've missed the first hour and a half of your streams when I'm working because I went forward an hour. You went forward an hour and I haven't. Oh, I got you, Dolly Boy. That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense, Dolly. I mean, it's okay. It's okay if you don't come sometimes, but I just notice when you're absent, Dolly Boy, because you're a staple. Dolly Boy has been here for ages and is a staple of the streams. Okay, so yes. Hello, Dolly Boy. SoCal Kahoot this. Boop. What the hell does that mean, SoCal? Whatever. Go back to SoCal. Okay. Guys, I'm not drinking tea. I see a lot of people discussing tea. I'm drinking coffee, although I do like my tea. I have English breakfast tea that I love. Okay, I like go through periods of doing different teas. So for a while it was Earl Grey. Now I'm back on English breakfast. Okay. Yes, okay, exactly. Haha, that's why I named myself to go that. I got you, egg and cheese. Okay. Dolly Boy says staple of getting bonked or bromped. Correct, Dolly Boy. Correct. Okay, correct. I just thought, I don't know. I thought I had to send the dog. I thought I would have to send the dog catcher after you or something, Dolly Boy. All right. How dare you, SoCal? All right. Hello, Alyssa. Alyssa's here. Hello, Alyssa. Alyssa, what time do you work today? We got to make sure to get to the Kahoot before you work. As a matter of fact, fuck it. We'll start with the Kahoot. Look, I'm already cursing. I'm already going to get demonetized. Who cares? It's fun. We're having a good time, right? All right. So. All right. 3. Okay, good. We got time then, Alyssa. We got time. So, guys, this is our second Friday. Yay! So that means we're going to have our Kahoot. And I would like to do the Kahoot right now. Okay, so let's do the Kahoot. Let's do the Kahoot. Let me pull up the Kahoot. And then we'll chat a little bit while we wait for more people to come in here because, you know, we need to just make sure that everyone who wants to play the Kahoot is here to play the Kahoot. Hello, Nightfall. Hello, Nightfall. So glad you're here, Nightfall. So glad you're here. All right, so, well, happy Friday the 13th, by the way, folks. Happy Friday the 13th. So let's play the Kahoot. I will copy and paste the pin here to the chat. All right. Or you can just go to the kahoot.it and then type in the code at the top, but I will paste the link. It is both in the YouTube and the Twitch link. Just click it, you'll be able to join the game. This is how it works. All right, this is how it works. Excuse me. The winner gets crowned the King of Fools for the next 2 weeks. Last week we had several people crowned King of Fools, all right? Several people crowned King of Fools. But this week, maybe I will see how many we get. Okay, so please click the link I just put in the chat, or you can go. We got LaCroix. Excellent. LaCroix is here. LaCroix has joined in with a very. What is that? Is that like a? I don't know what that is. A bird with a perm. Okay, Hella in your groove. Got it. Body swap. Boop swap. Oh, boop swap. I love it. We got boop swap. All right, we got LaCroix. Boop swap disappeared. Boop swap is back with a polar bear. All right, and then of course, guys. So this is what we're gonna do. Can I put an inappropriate? Yes, that's fine. Nightfall. Yes, that is okay. All right, because then that'll make me have to stay on my toes in regards to saying your name out loud, which will be fun. So do it, Nightfall. All right, you did, Louise. You joined just in time. Well done, Nightfall. I'll have to call you Mike or something to try and. I have to get used to it because you know, when I was a teacher, I used to play Kahoot, and I would have to watch out for students doing this shit. So I got pretty good at not saying them aloud. So it's fun to try to test myself. All right. Eggs. We got eggs, cheesy. Excellent. Laws is here in your groove. Mithril. Okay. Okay. By the way, so this is what we're going to do today, folks. Well, we're waiting for everyone to come in here who wants to play the game. We do have some news items. We're going to do our Kahoot first. Then we have some news items to cover, as always, because, you know, every day is a cluster F, as always. Every day is a cluster F in the news these days. So we will then do some news items. Then we have 2 options. One, I'm going to take a political test live where, you know, I think it's called the eight values test, which I don't know if I've taken before on stream. I took one before on stream. I don't know if I've taken the 8 values test, but I think I will. Maybe I have before, but if I have, I guess I'll just do it again real fast because I think they've changed it. So I'll take a political test on stream, or I'm not sure which one we'll do first. And then we're going to have a bit of a we're going to have a bit of a reforms/demands convention where we talk about some of the things we want, some of the reforms we want our government to do, or some demands we have for the government. And then we will do some reactions. We'll see where the day takes us. You know, it's a Friday. Friday streams are supposed to be fun Fridays. It's supposed to be fun Fridays. So we're going to have a little bit of fun despite the horror, okay, in the world. Despite the horror in the world, we'll do a little bit of fun shit, okay, a little bit of fun shit. We got Eggy Cheesy. We got Boop Swap. We got No Betty Boop. We got, this is going to confuse me. We got Alyssa Laws. We got Mike. We got Mithril. We got In Your Groove. And we got LaCroix. Anyone else want to join? Anyone else? Come on, folks. We only got, 1, 2, 3. Well, I can't count. We got 9 people. We need more. Okay, I know there's more of you out there. Come on. What's wrong with you people? Get in the game, all right? We had like, what, 20 people last time? Maybe not everyone's here yet because it is still a bit early. Maybe we just need to wait a couple more minutes here and see who else can kind of, you know, saunter on. And so, you know, while we're waiting, you know what? Let me first do this. I'm going to repost the link in case anyone just came in that needs the link again. Boop, there it is. Okay. So there are some interesting news items today we are going to be discussing. All right. Nightfall. So Kahoot Nightfall is a game where it's a trivia game. And you'll notice though at the beginning of this day's Kahoot, I think I forgot to mix up the questions. So I think all the beginning questions are questions about community members. Oh my God, that's good. Hugh, great name. I'll have to avoid that. And so basically it'll be a question, there'll be a question, and then there'll be 4 multiple choice answers. You have to choose the right answer. I think I set it so that, you know what, guys? You're all gonna hate me. I might actually need to edit something really fast because it looks like one of their, settings changed because they updated the stuff. I might need to quickly reset this. Let me see what I can do. How do I... Give me a second here. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. I actually might have to make you guys re-sign up. Forgive me. Kahoot updated its servers or whatever you call that. I'm not a computer scientist person or whatever, but... and it looks like one of the settings is different. That was automatic before, but it looks like I actually have to set it this time. Give me 1 second. Right. Gonna change that setting because it's not gonna go well if I don't change that setting. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. This should be better now. Okay. Sorry, guys. You're going to have to re-sign into this. Forgive me. Start a new game. Accuracy. Start. I think that fixed it. Okay. Sorry, guys. So we're going to have to re-sign in. I know you're all going to hate me. You're all going to hate me. It's okay. It's fine. Let me quickly re-put in the link here. Boop. There you go. There's the new link. All right. Hello. So try it again, guys. Just sign in again. Forgive me. You're all in cahoots. We are in cahoots, Jester. We are in cahoots. Okay, we got Charlie Kirk, In Your Groove, Mithril. It should work fine this time. Okay. So go ahead, sign in, do your shit. Okay. Yay, we got more people. In Your Groove, Mithril, LaCroix, Paleo, Laws, Bromp Swap, Fetty, Excellent. We got 6. We got 10 people. Anyone else want to join? There is such a time delay. I feel bad for mobile players. Yes, Alyssa. One of the settings that I quickly had to change was give you a longer time to answer. So you don't get more points if you answer. You only get points if you get it correct. So you have 30 seconds to answer every question. So half a minute I feel like is long enough for people to answer, so people don't have to cheat or whatever. You can okay. I'm good. I made it in time. Yes, you did. Tish is always unprepared. No, I am prepared. So cow. Okay. Oh, looks like everyone's almost. We got everyone almost. Okay. Oh, wait, a couple more seconds here before we start the Kahoot again. The winner gets crowned King of Fools, the real Don Trump insane. Yes, Alyssa. The King of Fools will get crowned King of Fools for the next 2 weeks. Okay. Yay. Hello, Dex. Dex, you should join the game. Join the game, Dex, if you haven't already. Maybe you have. Okay, everyone ready? Okay. I'm going to give 10 more seconds for people to join. 10, 9, 8, 7. Some of the questions will be from presentations I've done. 6, 5. Some of them will be fun questions. 4, 3. Some of them will be about community members. 3, 2, and 1. Everyone ready? Let's go! All right. So you can answer using your devices. All right. I said Friday 13 because it's the 13th Friday. Okay. Here we go. First question, right? This hero is a software engineer, is making a synthesizer, and CR remembers when they were looking for a job. So this is a question about one of our community members. And so these ones will be harder for some of you, but that's why you have to stay around longer, so you start to know the people in the community, okay? So is that a Pizza That Giant, Macon, Alyssa, or Loiso? Who is it? Who is it here? Who here is a computer? I don't even know if this person is here right now. A computer engineer, or is a software engineer, is making a synthesizer. Because, Alyssa, I have a weird memory. I have a very long memory for little weird facts about people. I'd be making an excellent spy. Ooh, most of you didn't know it was Macon. It was Macon, okay? It was Macon. Join our Discord. Macon posts about some stuff in there about himself, okay? Herself. I'm not sure if it's a man, woman, or a non-binary person. Regardless, so that would be Macon. Next, so let's see who got that one right. That'd be Charlie, Kirk, Alyssa, Paleo, and TJ. Well done. Well done. Fantastic. Next. All right. This thinker noted that fascists use mass-reproduced art and spectacle to create an alternate reality. Okay, we talked about this person on one of the streams. Yes, some of the questions are hard, but they do relate to most of them go back to lessons I've taught. So if you didn't learn them, it's not my fault. Okay, you should have studied for the quiz. Is it Walter Benjamin, Willy Brandt, Marvin Harris, or Hannah Arendt? Okay. Yeah, you jumped in on your question, Macon. How dare you? All right. Okay. Yeah, I know you did, Alyssa. Okay, maybe show up to class and you'll do better. Ooh, most of you didn't answer. Fascinating. So the correct answer was indeed Walter Benjamin. It was Walter Benjamin who wrote Art in the Age of Mass Reproduction. We talked about it. I showed you some images of art and stuff. So 5 of you got it right. Now, they do say that teachers, if most of the class gets the question wrong, it's the teacher's fault. So it's definitely not my fault, though. I want to be clear. All right, moving on. So we got Charlie Kirk, the King of Fools. No, whoever took the phrase King of Fools, how dare you? We don't know if you're the King of Fools. You might not be the King of Fools by the end. Well, you might be the King of Fools, but you won't. You might not be by the end of the session. So Charlie Kirk, King of Fools, Louise, Oops, I Booped, and Eggy Boy all got it correct. Well done. Next. Which artist created the piece of art pictured below? Ooh, so who made this piece of art? Who made this piece of art? Is it Van Gogh, Ai Weiwei, it's AI generated, or Kehinde Wiley? This is from another presentation I did, so if you guys studied, you would know. Although I don't know how you could study since I don't post the... Oh, God, no, I'm breaking my stick again, guys. Oh, no, I'm breaking my stick. Look, the top is going to come off. Maybe it won't come off as easily as I thought. Oh, I need a real stick, one that doesn't break so easily. Excellent. Good job. Most of you got it. Most of you got it. Kehinde Wiley. Correct. Great job. I'm very proud of you. Yeah, Alyssa. You should have remembered seeing it on the stream. Okay. Preferably not Grindcar, but, you know, it's okay. I got you. King of Fools, Alyssa, Law. It's not the end of the world. Laws, Lacroix, Fetty, TJ. Okay, Alyssa, you got it. Charlie Kirk has the highest answer streak of 3. Ooh. Yeah, it is Mithril. Okay. Maybe stop hanging out with your grandchild. Okay. Clearly, my streams are much more important than your family. So why aren't you here? Okay. Why aren't you here? All right. Anyway. Okay. True or false? Women do around 50% of all unpaid labor. Yeah, looks like Charlie Kirk has come back to get into our true or false. Women do about 50% of all paid labor. Hello, Mad Sci Guy. Welcome. Do we remember, guys? If you're all misogynist and sexist, if you get this wrong, you're all misogynist and sexist. Anyone who gets this wrong needs to go to a re-education camp. Well done. Most of you got it. Okay, most of you. It's 75%. Women do around 75. Nightfall. How dare you? You get to go to the re-education camp. Nightfall. Okay, 75%. Women do 75% globally of all the unpaid labor. Okay. All right. Well, you should have looked at the screen, Alyssa. That wasn't my fault. Okay. So the 5 of you that got it wrong, shame on you. What are you, red pillars? Okay, I'm just kidding. It's whatever. It's fine. It's what 50% is still, okay, whatever. Okay, real Donald Trump in your groove. Alyssa, Laws, LaCroix, Mithril, Bromp Swap, TJ, real Donald Trump in your groove. Okay, Laws has the highest answer streak of 3. Oh, Louise, my. Let's go on to the next one. All right, next one, guys. This one is fill in the blank. Blank, not words. Blank, not words. Now, this was also related to the International Women's Day stream. The image in the center should remind you about what we're talking about. Blanks, not words. Or blank, not words. Blank, not words. Okay? Is it deeds, not words? War, not words? Love, not words? Silence, not words? Okay, shame on you, Matt Sci Guy. Yeah, I know you did, Alyssa. Shame on you. Good. Most of you got it. It was deeds, not words. Amelia Pankhurst, the head of a radical suffragette group in the UK, did terrorist attacks in the effort to gain women the right to vote, including making homemade bombs. All right, so it was deeds, not words. Turds, not words. We're not talking about Donald Trump, okay? All right, so good. Most of you got that. It's deeds, not words. We got Charlie Kirk, your death. Jesus, LaCroix, Mithril, Fetty, Paleo, Eggy Boy, Charlie Kirk. Okay, great job. Most of you got it. Very proud of all of you. In the United States, which part of the government creates content standards for schools? Okay. Nope, it's terrorism, Matt Sci Guy. Terrorism has a specific functional word. Now, the word terrorism is demonized, but it is a tactic. Terrorism is a tactic, okay? Yes, Matt Sci Guy, terrorism is a tactic. All right. Yes, Matt Sci Guy. Okay. So, what do we got here? There we go. State governments. All right. Correct. So it's the state governments are the ones that make the standards for the schools. Trump and turds and words. There you go. Okay. LaCroix has the highest answer streak of 4. LaCroix, I'm so proud of you, despite your rude entrance into my stream. Okay, how dare you? All right, still very proud of you, LaCroix. LaCroix, Mithril, Bromp Swap, Fetty, Paleo, TJ, Eggy Boy, Charlie Kirk, in your groove, Alyssa, LaCroix. Okay, we get the idea. Most of you got it. Okay, well done. Let's go on to the next one. All right. This hero made a remix of CR's singing. Battled a troll in Discord chat recently and is a more advanced human being. Ooh. I don't know if this person's here today. I don't think they are, regardless. Is it Sylvie DB? Is it Helen Ice Wings? Is it Retro Asher? Or is it Sir Bartholomew? Ooh. Ooh, most of you got it wrong. Learn our community members, okay? It would be Sylvie DB. Sylvie DB, all right? That Sylvie DB made a remix of me singing, which was kind of funny. If you can find it in the hobby section. And battled a troll recently to all of our joy, okay? To all of our joy. And is very much a more advanced human being. All right, so there we go. Sylvie DB. Only 5 of you got it right. 8 of you got it wrong. Shame on you, okay? But this is what weeds out the true comrades from the rest. Okay, I'm just kidding. Alyssa, Lacroix, Fetty, Paleo, and TJ all got it right. Well done. Well done. All right. Lacroix has the highest answer streak of 5. Ninjester, how dare you? Back up, Ninjester. Back up. Dolly boy, thank you for the hydrate. All right. So we continue. All right. Next one here. In the United States, what is the average number of years a newly licensed teacher stays in the teaching profession? What is the average number of years a newly licensed teacher stays in the teaching profession in the United States? Because you know I'm all about America first. God bless America. So obviously love the United States. Greatest country on the planet, freest, spreaders of democracy and shit. Anyway, so always have to ask about us because we're the best. So anyway, this would be yes, 2. I'm glad that must have been a shocking stat because only one of you got it wrong. So great job. 12 of you got it correct. Well done. Only 2 years. It's a rough stat. It's a hard stat, right? To kind of swallow, I guess you could say. That sounded dirty. Moving on. We got everyone except for one. I'm not even going to say them. Well done, everyone. Well done. Lacroix has a streak with 6 correct answers in a row. Who's going to catch up with Lacroix? Oh, my, I don't know. Someone better catch up with Lacroix. Maybe use some non-sparkling water. That would help. I don't know what that means. Moving on to the next one, guys. Here we go. 9 of 12, 20. This hero has a degree in philosophy, makes CR laugh constantly, and lives in the UK. This is an actual real-life photo of this hero. Okay, this is a real-life actual photo of this hero. It's not. But, you know, I'm being stereotypical because all English people look like this. I don't know if you know that, but all English people wear this outfit every day. Okay? The pin right here is at the bottom, JMac. You know what? Here, I will copy and paste it for you. Copy. There we go. There you go, Nightfall. An Englishman can confirm, right? I know many of you English people out there completely agree with me. That is what every single English person looks like. This is a newer person. Ooh, most of you got it wrong. This is Invalid Axiom. Invalid Axiom, yes, Invalid Axiom. Now, Invalid Axiom is a bit newer, but Invalid Axiom does have a degree in philosophy, which is why their name is Invalid Axiom and is very funny, okay? Yay. So I know that was a harder one. I know these ones are harder, but okay. Alyssa, Laws, Lacroix, and Bromswap. Ooh, Lacroix has the highest answer streak of 7. Fantastic. Next question. I don't think, is Invalid Axiom even here? I don't think so. Whatever. Moving on. Which of the following is not a type of assessment used by teachers? Which of the following is not a type of assessment used by teachers? A diagnostic, formative, summative, or duplicative? Oz is here! Hello, Oz. Okay. Diagnostic, formative, summative, or duplicative? Ooh. Isn't this cute? Don't we love this shit? La da 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 da, la da 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 da. Good. Almost all of you got it, except for 3 people. Duplicative, not a real thing. Okay, not a thing. We don't no such thing as a duplicative assessment. Although I guess you could have a duplicative assessment if you duplicate another assessment. Regardless, Louise is back with an answer streak of 3. Louise is back with an answer streak of 3. Fantastic. How dare you, Alyssa? It just isn't, TJ. You're just wrong. Okay, just accept that you're wrong, TJ. All right. Okay. Yeah, well done. All right. This is a popular trend amongst young men where they try to make themselves look as attractive as possible. This is a popular trend amongst young men where they try to make themselves look as attractive as possible. At least it looks maxing, frame mogging, makeup maxing, or protein packing. Now, technically all of these kind of do that, but what's the word that's sort of the general word for all of that combined? I know, right? All right, what is it? Was it looks maxing, frame mogging, makeup maxing? You got to learn all your slang, folks. Correct, it's looks maxing, which is a horrific practice that I really don't like. Okay, exactly, inverted panda douchebagging, right? Yeah, exactly. Just be metrosexual, Fetty. Like, why not? Right? Come on. You all need to take advice from gay men. Okay, there you go. That you don't no need to do the looks maxing. You know, if you want to just improve your look a little bit, maybe do some fashion, some shit like that. Okay, whatever. I don't care how you guys look. It doesn't matter. Everyone looks the same in desert camo in Iran. That's true, Dead Inside. That's a good one. All right, moving on. Lacroix still has an answer streak with 9. 9 correct in a row. Sweet Jesus. Oh my God. Okay, moving on, right? Let's go to the next one. This concept identifies the uncertainty, limited situational awareness, and confusion surrounding military operations. Okay, is it subterfuge, attrition, fog of war, or operational security? Ooh, is it subterfuge, attrition, fog of war, or operational security? There you go, Retro. Everyone looks the same under the thermal camera of a bomb drone. Exactly. All right. So what is it, guys? I've talked about it several times. Nightfall. There can only be one Charlie Kirk in this chat. That's for sure. Right? Okay. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, good. Most of you got it. It's called the Fog of War. That is a by the time he reads it, usually. Okay, you've likely already answered it by the time he reads it. Yeah, exactly, Alyssa. Fog of war, correct. Okay, that's a very common military phrase. It also affects the media because it's hard if it's hard for military people to know what's going on, it's hard for the media to know what's going on, okay? So again, it's kind of hard to know what's true or not during a war, all right? Charlie Kirk, Your Death, In Your Groove, Alyssa, Laws, LaCroix, Mithril, Fetty, Charlie Kirk, TJ, Charlie Kirk. God, there's so many Charlie Kirks. Jesus Christ. They're multiplying. We need to get the Ghostbusters in here. Okay. 5, you know what, or we need to get out a what is it called? A Ouija board and start trying to sort out which of these Charlie Kirks is real and fake. Okay. Dolly Boy says it's called the Fog of War, and you liberal journalists in your air-conditioned offices won't understand it. How dare you, Dolly Boy? Okay. Okay, no more Charlie Kirk crap in the chat here. No, Alyssa. No, Fetty. Guys, I'm going to start handing out Bromps. I'm going to start handing out Bromps and Bonks, okay? Don't disappoint. No. Thank you, Oz. Thank you. Oz gets a boop. Boop. All right. Okay, Oz got a boop. All right, moving on. When military planners are making plans, as they do, they must not forget that the enemy is also making plans. This is called... You know what, Oz, thank you. Dolly Boy, you get a bonk. Bonk! How dare you, Dolly Boy? You took it too far. Nightfall, you get a bonk. Bonk! How dare you compare me to Charlie Kirk? Shame on you. All right? Anyone else? Okay. So, I know. Well, Retro Asher, he's very rude. He never answers my calls. Charlie Kirk never gets back to me. I don't know. There's something. He must be sick or something. For some reason, he never gets back to me. The couple times I have had him in my office here, he just doesn't say anything. I don't know. The chair doesn't even look like he's there. But he doesn't say anything. He's very rude person. Okay. Okay, so correct. Most of you got it right. It's called friction. Friction. Dolly Boy, oh my God, Dolly Boy, I'm going to ban you from this goddamn chat, Dolly Boy. There is nothing worse than a bonk, okay? And you're making me think that I should make something worse than a bonk, okay? How dare you? Retroaction, that'd be kind of funny. Okay, yeah, so most of you got it right. It's friction. Thank you, Real Donald Trump, In Your Groove, Alyssa, LaCroix, Mithril, Fetty, Paleo, TJ. Oh, no, Charlie Kirk didn't get that one right. Yeah, I need to do a mega bonk or something. Okay, moving on. 4 participants just hit answer streak 4. Yeah, we need nothing worse than a bonk. How is asymmetric cost especially apparent in the war against Iran? This is an image from Iran, by the way. Beautiful image. Okay, is it 1, Iran is spending more money on missiles than the USA? 2, none of these? 3, Iran Shahed drones are less expensive than U.S. and Israeli interceptors? Or D, Iran is suffering fewer casualties than the USA or Israel? Hello, is the game on? Welcome. Okay, what do we think here? Okay, what do we think? Good job. I'm glad you guys got that right. It is the fact that American and Israeli interceptors are millions of dollars each, while an Iranian drone's only $20,000 to $50,000. So yeah, okay. Absolutely. And obviously, Iran is suffering more casualties than the USA or Israel. Iran is not spending more money on missiles than the USA, and it's not none of these. So it has to be this one, okay? Remember we talked about it, how there's asymmetric cost. Iran is quite brilliantly using asymmetric cost to its advantage, okay? Another thing it's doing that is causing asymmetric cost is blocking the Straits of Hormuz. It's very inexpensive for Iran to block the Straits of Hormuz compared to the cost it puts on the other side, okay? Anyway, Alyssa, Louise, Lacroix, Mithril, Fetty, Charlie Kirk, TJ, Your Death. God, that sounds horrific, okay? You guys get it. 4 participants have reached an answer streak of 5. Well done. Well done. And Ninjester says, there's no friction in my administration. Everyone does exactly what I want, even the evil Democrats and the lying fake news. My 5D chess strategy is working exactly as I intended. You sound like a good MAGA person there, Ninjester. Let's go on to the next question, okay? In regards to the war against Iran, thank you, Lamira, thank you, okay? In regards to the war against Iran, don't forget the Epstein files, the Chinese Communist Party, Pakistan, or NATO? Okay. Lamira, so glad you're here, Lamira. So glad you're here. All right. Now, guys, only one of these answers is correct because I made it very clear. Good. Good, guys. Good. Well done. It is the Epstein files. Never forget the Epstein files. No, Grindcar. They're not all good answers. The only one that I wanted was Epstein files. I made it very clear during my presentation that we can't forget about the goddamn Epstein files. Lamira, so glad you're here, of course. I'm glad you'd rather be here, Lamira, okay, despite me screaming at these degenerates out here. But not you, Lamira. You're not a degenerate, okay? Most of you got it right, though, okay? Thank you, all right? All of you got it except for a few. I'm not even going to name you. Well done, okay? Okay. You know what, Dolly Boy? Jesus, okay. Yeah, Operation Epstein Fury, absolutely. Okay, next one, guys. Well done for those who got it right, okay? Well done for those who got it right, okay? 16 out of 20. This hero is a witch who is interested in the Tudors, used to live in the USA, and currently lives in the UK. Ooh, who is it? By the way, the image on the screen is an image of this person's altar, or I think that's what it's called, an altar or a shrine. I can't remember. But if that person is here, don't say it until the end so that people don't know it's you. Okay, so who is it? Who in our community is a witch who is interested in the Tudors? Correct, it's Gwen Garnet. Gwen, a great member of the community, pretty new to these streams here. Isn't that cool? Isn't that's called an altar, right, Gwen? That image you showed in the hobby section. So that's Gwen. Most of you got it right. Hey, Gwen must be making quite the impression that we all remember Gwen. Okay, fantastic. All right, congrats. Exactly. You're trying to make your altar? That's cool, Amira. Okay, so that's Gwen. All right. Next, okay, let's see here. Almost everyone got it. Well done. Ninjester! Silence! Okay, moving on. Let's continue. In Jared Diamond's collapse, which of the following is not a common reason for civilizational collapse? Which of the following is not a reason for common reason for civilizational collapse, according to Jared Diamond? I did a presentation on this. You all better remember. Is it climate change, failure to adapt, low birth rates, or hostile neighbors? Which one is it? How dare you, Ninjester? I'm already great. Okay. Which of these is not a common reason for civilizational collapse? Good job, guys. How dare anyone say it's not climate change? Shame on you, okay? It's clearly low birth rates, okay? That was not one of the listed reasons why. Ron, Oz, Ron, okay? It is not one of the listed reasons. Low birth rates aren't the reason why there are civilizational collapses, okay? So anyway, so all those right-wingers out there that are always screaming about birth rates ending civilization, there hasn't been a single case in history where that's been true. Okay, anyway, so great. Yeah, low birth rates is the correct answer, all right? It's not one of the reasons listed. from Jared Diamond, okay? As we talked about in stream, if you were paying attention. All right. Great job. Most of you, okay, 3 participants have an answer streak of 8. Well done. Well done. Well done. Okay, I'm not even going to name you all. Great job. All right, continue. All right. What was the name of the Kurdish Muslim ruler of Syria and Egypt who gave his wealth to his subjects upon his death? I agree, Hobby. I actually agree with you. I'm sorry, Retro Asher, I totally agree with you. Yeah. Yeah, Oz. Okay. I just like yelling at everyone. Cheeseburgers, how dare you? Okay. Is it Saladin, Baldwin, Pasha Ali, or Mansa Musa? Oh my God, Outer Signal. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I actually noticed I'm upset, Outer Signal, because there's a couple other lefty creators who have now done videos about how Professor Jang, and they have got so many more viewers than I did. And even though I did it first, I'm like, God damn it, those mother. I need some capitalist competition here. I'm gonna need to crush the competition. Anyway, just kidding. I love it. I'm not jealous at all. I'm not jealous at all, guys. All right, whatever. So we have Saladin, correct, is the correct answer here. Okay. All right, Saladin is the correct answer. We talked about this person yesterday, so all right. Now, your death is... Oh, God, that sounds disturbing. Your death is back with an answer streak of 3. Okay, how dare you, Cody? All right. Okay, I got you, Oz. Okay. You know I'm trash talking everyone. All right. Well done. Okay, next, what is this, Kay? When analyzing human behavior as a social scientist, you must try to understand how individuals are impacted by society. What is this called? When you try to imagine how an individual's behavior is impacted by larger social structural forces. Is it sympathy, neuroscience, experimentation, or the sociological imagination? Remember, I did that emergency important stream where we watched a thing about rural Kentucky or impoverished Kentucky, and then we watched a thing about the I don't know, something else. God, I keep breaking my staff. I need to stop it. I need something to keep this from snapping. Good job. Most of you got it. Sociological imagination. Make sure you have a sociological imagination, folks. All right, next. All right, was that the last one? Alyssa has an answer streak with 14 correct in a row. Dear God, Alyssa. All right, last question. Boop, bonk, and then what's the last one? Boop, bonk. What's the last one? I'm not going to tell you, okay? I'm not even going to say them out loud because you need to know this. If I say it aloud, it'll give it away. Boop, bonk, and... Okay, boop, bonk, and... Oh, come on, you all better know this by now. Yeah, how dare you, TJ? Don't you dare. All right. Good, it's brump. It is brump. Okay, it's boop, bonk, and brump. Brump, no, Fetty lies. I never make a mistake. I'm perfect. So a brump is where I remove a boop, okay? A bonk is where I'm just punishing you outright, okay? Where I'm just like, you've been bad, here's a punishment. And then brump is like where I withdraw a prior boop because of misbehavior. Okay? So, well done, all right? So that'd be 8 of you got it correct. It's brump. It's boop, bonk, and brump. All right? All right. Yeah, bork, bork, bork. Okay. All right, so everyone ready to see who won? Yeah, shocking, Alyssa. Well done. Let's see who won. Everyone ready? Let's see who the new King of Fools is for the next 2 weeks. Everyone ready? Let's go. Let's go. The bronze. The bronze goes to Fetty Spaghetti. Hey! Shh, Retro, be quiet. Silence. All right, now silver goes to LaCroix and TJ. Oh my God, well done, well done. And who gets the gold? Only one person, Alyssa! Oh my God, Alyssa, this is the first time you've won. Congratulations, Alyssa. I am shocked that Alyssa could possibly win one of these. Absolutely shocked. I'm being an asshole, Alyssa, you know it. Well done, Alyssa. Alyssa is now the new King of Fools. The new King of Fools for the next 2 weeks. Well done, Alyssa. Well done, okay? Well done. Fantastic, okay? No, Louise, not well done, everyone, okay? only well done to the people who got up in the top numbers, okay? Everyone else, shame on you. All right? Shame on you, okay? Everyone must bow to Alyssa. I'm just a simple domestic woman. No, there's no such thing as just simple domestic woman, Alyssa. Dear God. All right? How dare you, Alyssa, okay? All right. Well done, guys. Well done. See here, Retro Asher, I think we should make a community Kahoot based on every community member and force CR to take it. Ron. Well, actually, you could. That'd be kind of funny. All right, so guys, let's get a dopamine rush. Let's get a dopamine rush. Okay, let's get a dopamine rush. Because, you know, they like giving us shit. I just want to see what rewards we got. What reward? No, I clicked the wrong button. We don't get rewards. I want the rewards so we can... So that we can get the dopamine rush. I just want the dopamine rush. Where's the dopamine? Okay, fine. I clicked the wrong button. It's okay. It's okay. And my axe! Right, outer signal? Okay. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, we don't get the rewards. All right. Okay. Leaving that. Yay, guys. So that's our Kahoot. Well done. We have a new King of Fools. That's Alyssa. Okay, that's Alyssa. Excuse me. I decided a while back to not make a Queen of Fools and that everyone will be a King of Fools. But we could, you know what, though? We could do a Queen of Fools. If you want to, do you want to be a queen or a king, Alyssa? Or do you want to be like an empress or like I don't know. I don't care. The noble title doesn't really matter to me. I don't care. If you want me to misgender you, I can call you a king, or we can call you a queen, or we can call you a empress. I'm a queen. There you go. Yes, you are, Jonas. No one doubts that, Jonas. Not a single one of us doubts that, Jonas. Anyway. Supreme Leader of Fools. There we go. The Supreme Leader of Fools. All right. The Emperor of Fools. Excellent. Excellent. There you go, Alyssa. Thank you for donating for the $2. Alyssa says my stream now. Well done. Okay, well done. Marzipan Power, welcome. I will, okay. I mean, of course I am, Alyssa. Do you blame me? I mean, you know, anyway, I'm being an asshole, okay. CR supports patriarchy confirmed. You know, just a little bit. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, I'm being an asshole. Of course, you guys are monsters. I hate all of you. Okay, so great job, everyone. There, great job. Cody says, what about us non-binary people? You don't exist. Okay, you don't exist. You know what? That's it. That's it. I'm gonna lump in non-binary people now with bisexual people. None of you exist. You know why? Because because of what you said to me, Cody. That's why. I'm punishing all of you together because of what one of you said. Same like, just for example, I don't like Dolly Boy. Dolly Boy is like the lowest, most wretched person on the planet. So I have now completely generalized, and like now I'm saying that there are no bisexual people at all. Okay. Yeah, you're correct, TJ. Only gay white men exist in my eyes. Okay. Only gay white men exist. Okay. So no, wait, if you're non-binary and bi, does it cancel out? Retro Asher, I'm not a scientist. Okay. I am not a scientist. I don't know the particulars of the canceling out thing. Okay. But from now on, Cody, no, you do not exist. Okay. Anyway. You know what? It's actually I shouldn't even say that because there are actually people who say that about bi people and non-binary people. So we all know I'm joking, right? We all know that not being non-binary is a real thing. And there are people who are non-binary, same with the people who are bi, right? Okay, whatever. You guys know I'm joking. Screw you. I hate all of you. I hate you already, even though you haven't said anything rude to me. Correct, Dolly Boy. You should be ashamed. Okay. Fuck you, Cody. How dare you, J-Mac? Retro Asher, I think Florida doesn't exist. Okay, shame. A problematic revolt. How dare you, LaCroix? Okay, how dare all of you? I'm mad at all of you now. And snow leopard, come on. Snow leopards are about to go extinct anyway. I don't care if you laugh at me. Ooh, that's a dark joke. Anyway, so whatever, lurking snow leopard. All right. Okay, you know what? I'm digging myself a grave. I'm digging myself a grave with all these dark jokes. Okay. All right, you guys. So we are okay. Let's go on. We got some things to do, guys. So first, sorry, was that really loud? I'm sorry. First thing That one kind of hurt. I'm sorry, Snow Leopard. I shouldn't have made that joke. It was a bad joke. I'm sorry. Don't make me feel bad, lurking Snow Leopard. I love animals, okay? Except for chimpanzees. I could do without them. All right, I don't want to be around a chimpanzee. But other than that, I like animals pretty well. I like animals a lot. But let's not start the whole chimpanzee conversation, okay? Because they're scary. I don't like chimpanzees. Anyway, moving on. So, okay, let us we have a few things to talk about. We have a few stories, not that many because it's supposed to be our fun stream. Actually, you know what? Let's do this first. Okay, let's talk about bonobos are okay. Shh, in your groove, we are not stopping. The hearings in my ear, you're on my phone, not so loud. Gotcha. In your groove, we are not going to talk about sharks versus dolphins. No one remembers that. No one remembers that stream. Everyone has forgotten about it. We don't need to bring it up. Dolly Boy, I swear to God, no one remembers that stream. Okay, I will go find that stream and I will erase it so no one ever remembers it again. And then I'll gaslight you and claim it never happened. Okay. Anyway, so bonobos are fine. I like bonobos. Bonobos have sex with each other all the time, but they are also kind of violent. I'm actually not that big of a fan. I don't want to be around bonobos or chimpanzees. If I had to choose, I'd rather be around bonobos than chimpanzees. Because they're less inclined to do violence against each other, but they're still pretty violent. Okay. Okay. Oh, is that true, Fox? Someone you said Besant was taken mid-interview to the Situation Room and he came back terrified. Oh, well, that's like every day for me. Okay. Okay. Hello, my soggy knees. Welcome, my soggy knees. Welcome. So glad you're here. I'm not sure. Hopefully you're joking, my soggy knees. My soggy knees comes in here and says, oh, it's the commie fuck. Yours truly, reporting for duty. Anyway. Okay, so glad you're here, though. Hopefully you're just kidding. All right. All right. So let's see here, guys. We have a few things to talk about. My husband rescues spiders. I used to have tarantulas, as a matter of fact. You've partied hard with howlers? That's crazy. I don't know. It's okay, Fox Emblem. Okay. Your husband rescues spider. That's cool. All right. Capuchin. Yeah, capuchins are asshole. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. We should stop talking about monkeys right now. Hello, Invalid Axiom. Invalid Axiom. Hello. So, Invalid Axiom, go back and watch the Kahoot. There was a question about you in the Kahoot. Okay. There was a question about you in the Kahoot. Nesquicker is here. Guys, you all missed the Kahoot. Shame on you, Nesquicker. Shame on you, Nesquicker. Shame on you, Invalid Axiom. And Invalid Axiom, there was a question about you in the Kahoot, okay? No, it was a trivia question about you. You were one of the answers to one of the trivia questions. Okay, okay, yeah, all right. What am I seeing here? J-Mac just sent me something. Let me see what it is. A lot of you guys are throwing things at me. Yeah, oh yeah, we're going to talk about all this, guys. Everyone relax. Everyone relax, okay? I have several stories lined up to talk about, okay? We will get there, but it's the Friday fun stream, so I'm slow about it right now, and we're going to do some fun stuff. But right now, we are going to talk about the 4 stories I have here. I can tell you exactly what to do, J-Mac. I dominate you, J-Mac. All right. Nesquicker, trivia is a little bit farther back in the stream. I did a Kahoot. All right, though it's okay. Yeah, you don't have to go back. But anyway, all right, you guys. So first story here. Unsurprisingly here. Okay, do we all know? Remember that shooting that happened yesterday? I know it might be confusing. I know. It might be confusing because of how many shootings and deaths there are in America all the time. It's the sexual harassment panda. Okay. No, I didn't mean dominate as in sexually. Okay, you know what? Whatever, guys. I hate all of you. So this is a shocking outcome. Remember how I said radicalization occurs, guys? Okay. My soggy knees, I swear to God. Okay. Remember how I mentioned that how radicalization, I know, right, Lemira, occurs? Well, the guy that did the attack on the synagogue yesterday lost about 5 of his family members in Israeli strikes on Lebanon. Exactly, Oz. This is the one on the synagogue, okay? So, Okay. Oh, my soggy knees. Oh, don't tell people that. Anyway, so are we surprised then? This is what happens when you mass murder people and their families. Okay. Are we surprised that this is what happened? Like, what do you expect to happen? What causes terror attacks is radicalization. If you lost 5 of your family members in an Israeli airstrike in Lebanon, it kind of makes sense why you would go do a terrorist attack in the United States. Am I saying that that is fair to the people who get killed? No. Am I saying that that is a good thing? No. Am I saying it's understandable and it's sort of easily explainable and predictable? Yes. This is why we should not be murdering people all across the Middle East. Not only is it immoral, okay, not only is it deeply immoral, what do you it will cause things like this to happen, right? Like, obviously, yeah, outer signal, grievances and extremism rarely happen in a vacuum. Okay, rarely happen in a vacuum. Okay, so my soggy niece says it's war. Yeah. So would you then say that it's legitimate for this person to have done what they did yesterday in the United States? Because technically they're at war too. Do you see what I mean? I don't think any of it is necessarily legitimate. Like killing the 5 people in Lebanon wasn't legitimate. Neither was doing a terrorist attack in the United States on a synagogue legitimate, right? But if we're going to say that the Lebanon thing was legitimate because it's war, well, okay. So how do we stop them from continuing? Well, that we would have to put pressure on our governments, folks, a lot of pressure on them, and maybe stop bombing the Middle East. Okay, that would be nice by putting pressure on our governments, especially the United States and Israel. Okay, boycott the United States, boycott Israel, protest against the United States government, etc. Okay, stop the war. We're going to lose this war. It's already looking like we might. It's already been determined by experts on multiple articles I've read that regime change is not going to be possible through an air campaign alone, which means we either need to just stop the war and admit that we're defeated, or we will need to put troops on the ground. Either way, it won't be good for us. Okay, either way, it's bad. Okay. So if we put troops on the ground, a lot of people will die. We'll lose anyway. If we stop bombing right now, there's no guarantee Iran will stop bombing after all we've done. And, I mean, that's the best option right now. There'll still be lots of death and destruction. So that's good, right? There you go. Right, Ness Quicker. But Pete Hegseth said, don't worry about it, right? Yeah, they just have to stop. The option right now is that we need to stop bombing. And by we, I'm starting to think maybe I should stop using the word we. The United States, needs to stop bombing shit, and so does, okay, but if everyone boycotts the U.S. and Israel, who else will buy their crappy shit? Hilarious. Okay. All right. Wait. Who's crappy shit? All right. You mean the American and Israeli crappy shit? All right. So, okay, it's war. So, yeah. So anyway, dear God, yeah, Elliot, we're actually going to talk about that now. If this is a new thing, then it's only bad if we lose. We are losing, my Saganese. We are absolutely losing right now. Okay. All right. So, guys, let's see what this is. Trump deploys. Deploys troops. Yeah, so guys, I know you all are sending me stuff, but if you look down here, well, I forget one of my stories. I was going to talk to you guys about how there were Marines being, if you noticed in the title of the stream, it says Marines are being deployed to the Middle East. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't know that was a news story. I thought that was announced this morning. There are Marines being deployed to the Middle East. So apparently, though, hello, Eleni, I guess we are, in fact, deploying troops to the Middle East now. 2,500 Marines is not enough to do much. It isn't. I am not convinced yet that we will be putting troops on the ground. I would say, okay, so guys, let me put my face up for a second because this is an important thing to talk about. I know, Gwen. I know. I'm just being an asshole about it. Okay, let's see here. So here's the thing. From what I've read, it's thousands of Marines. I heard it was 2,500 Marines. Is there a different story coming out then? Let me see here. Marines. No, it's not. Elaney, it is not a lot of Marines for doing in Marines Middle East. My soggy knees. No, that's not true, my soggy knees. Iran has tons of conventional forces. They're much larger than Iraq. They have a massive population, a massive country. They have tons of conventional forces, and they're trained in guerrilla tactics. They are prepared for a ground invasion. All right. So how many? Yeah, that is not many Marines, guys. 2,500 is not enough for a ground invasion. All right, it is not. Now, does that mean that they won't try to do a Venezuela-type incursion into Tehran, for example? No. That's possible, Elliot. It's possible that they're giving us an underestimate, all right? But if it's true that they are only sending 2,500, that's not enough for a ground invasion, all right? But they might be trying to do, yeah, Lacroix, for a country as big as Iran, they might be trying to do a ground, if they're trying to do like a raid into Tehran to take out the government like happened in Venezuela, well, that's not going to work very well, first of all. I'm not sure, so it's curious. Yeah, it's not a full-scale invasion. We'll see if it might be, I suspect they're trying to pressure the Iranian regime to surrender by doing this, and that's probably also why they're announcing it, okay? They're probably announcing it as a warning, and they might slowly send more troops over there to slowly build up the forces as they put more troops on the ground. Okay, my soggy knees, I am not lying, all right? I am not lying at all. And if you think I'm lying, you should look it up. Okay. 2,500 sounds like they're doing something specific. Right, Trump failed. It could also just be a show of force. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Laney, but Iran, what's the population of Iran? Anyone know? I believe it's what, 60 million? 2,500 troops is nothing for 60 million. Let me remind myself here. Number of troops needed for occupation. Okay. So as I'm just trying to remember, yeah, that's right. You need 20 to 25 troops for every 1,000 residents of a country. So that is 2,500 is not many for 90 million people in Iran, okay? No, okay, that's it. You're gone, soggy knees. I don't want to hear that in here. Bye-bye, soggy knees. I don't promote genocide in this chat. You're a monster. I hope you burn in hell for all eternity. Goodbye. All right. That was rude. Forgive me, folks. I didn't mean to be that mean to him. Okay. Sorry. Whoa! I'm just a jester. Nothing bad going on in here. I didn't just say something horrible. He deserved it. Okay. I know I was being too nice. Forgive me. Yeah, he did deserve it. I know. But I shouldn't have used. But I don't like using religious terminology like that. Anyway. All right. He deserved it. Okay. Anyway, we're not going to repeat what we just heard, and we're going to keep going on here. All right. Yeah. So moving on here. So you need about 20 to 25 soldiers for every 1,000 residents of a country. So let's do the math, shall we? Let's do the math. I suspect we would need millions of troops on the ground in order to successfully occupy Iran. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, guys. So, okay. My point here is that sending about 2,500 troops to the Middle East is either you're planning to do a brief incursion, kind of like what happened in Venezuela. or it's symbolic and threatening, okay? Because you're not going to be able to do much else with that. You're not going to be able to do much else with that. Now, obviously, there is the fog of war, and I don't know all the facts on the ground. There might be some other thing they can do with them that I'm not aware of, but you see what I mean? Okay, so there you go. It is also possible, by the way, remember how we were talking about the Kurds were being sort of trained and prepped for an invasion of Iran? Maybe these Marines will go and assist the Kurds in when they invade Iran. That's possible too, but still. Okay. All right. Hello, Godspeed. Well, Godspeed. I don't know if I should. Okay, are you joking, Godspeed? I'm not going to release that message unless you clarify that you're joking. If you don't mind, please, Godspeed. Okay. I see what you're saying, Godspeed, but well, yeah, but the Enlightenment didn't really destroy Christianity. Anyway, but fair. All right. Okay. Moving on. So, Casual Vote 1, who said America is looking for... No, Eleni, I am not saying that... this is my point, right? I actually studied military history and stuff. What does it... But if you were... My point is that if we were to use 2,500 troops on the ground for an incursion into Tehran, that would likely fail, first of all. And which is okay. I mean, that might happen. But I don't think we're going to launch a ground invasion of Iran. Okay, let's put it that way. Lacroix, will we finally give the Kurds their own nation if they help us with this invasion? Probably not, Lacroix, let's be honest. Thank you, J-Mac. Paul Squaw, your dad destroyed my enlightenment twice last night. Gross. All right. All right. Anyway, so that's interesting. And was this announced? I mean... Let me see here. I'm just going to see, because, you know, I read that news this morning, but Michigan, yeah, I'll see. It's interesting. There's not really much info on some of the mainstream news sources about those troops being deployed that I've seen. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see much more info about it. But anyway, so 2,500 troops is not many, but it might be the beginning of a surge or a slow movement. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. All right, guys. So that's just that news story. There do appear to be troops being sent over there. What they're going to be used for, we don't know. That's sort of part of the fog of war that we're experiencing right now. And, well, okay, let's watch this. So Fox Emblem sent this to us. And let's see if what Fox, if that Fox Emblem is right. Okay, I believe Fox Emblem is right, but this says that Scott Bessent was taken out of a meeting and he looked for Donald Trump, and he looked shaken when he came back, like he was told bad news. So this is just going to be kind of conjecture on our part, but it'll be interesting to see what does he look like when he gets back from being okay. All right, so let's watch this together, guys.
Great.
Let's see what this is about. Okay, let's watch this real fast.
I listened to you.
I'm sorry, you guys can't see it. There we go. So this is Scott Bessent being pulled out of an interview.
I listened to you on the.
The president wants you. Sorry, the president wants you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Godspeed. I know what Nietzsche says about all that and shit. But obviously, well, I'm in America where Christianity is still very alive and well, if that makes sense. All right.
Okay. No problem at all.
All right. So here we go. Let's see how he reacts.
See you shortly, Mr. Secretary. You can work that in. Mr. Secretary, I have to say, it's a first, I'm sure a last as well, that an interviewee's been pulled away to go to the Situation Room. How was the president? Was he stressed?
No, the president is in great spirits. The Iranian mission is proceeding well ahead of schedule, And I have to tell you, Wilf, that I've a teenager who's considering military service, and I could give this team my highest compliment, from President Trump to the head of the Joint Chiefs to the Secretary of War. I would say that I would trust my child's life in their hands.
I don't even know what to say about this. He seemed nervous, but has he always talked like that? Has he always talked like that? I don't really know what he normally talks like. Alyssa, did he really say anything? Like, what is he? But does he normally talk like that? He normally talks like that? Okay. So I don't want to take, he normally sounds a lot better. Okay, interesting. I don't know. That's interesting. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so this is good. The America is, of course, sending troops to the Middle East. I'm sure this will end well, regardless of what we're sending them there for. Great. By the way, it's also just a fact that by sending these troops to the Middle East, we know for a fact that Russia is providing intelligence about American troop locations and things like that. So they're just a giant moving target, by the way, for Iran also. Anyway, just a side note there. Maybe we should just stop killing so many people, and maybe we should stop intervening in the Middle East, and maybe we should stop killing them and blowing up hospitals and schools and murdering people and doing imperial conquest like the Empire from Star Wars. Okay, like maybe we should just stop being the baddies, the bad guys. And by baddies, I don't mean the attractive ones. I mean like the bad guys, right? Yeah. You're right, Inverted Panda. Greater Israel, right? Can we just maybe not do that? That'd be nice. I'm going to lose my mind. Can we just stop that? Can all these monsters stop that? Okay. They kind of are, Godspeed. You're right. I thought Putin and Trump were butt buddies. They kind of are, let's be honest. But not like in the fun way. Not in a way that you'd want to see on camera, if that makes sense. Okay. So, all right. So that's good. That's fun news. I love that for us. Next story. So again, guys, the first story is that the person who did that attack in Michigan have lost five family members in Lebanon. Okay, no, that's fair, Fox Emblem. I just don't know enough about what may have been said to take a guess at it. So that's what causes radicalization, all right? So if we think that it'll make Americans safer, for example, or Israelis safer by bombing a bunch of innocent people overseas, or bombing people's countries, we got a rude awakening coming to us, all right? That'll make people want to attack us more. I know that sounds like, oh, how can you say that? I know, but that's just a fact. Okay, I wish they would do imperial conquest, because honestly, that's the only thing these people what people, Godspeed? What do you mean? I wish they would do imperial conquest. What people should do imperial conquest? All right. Yes, Amy Acton does lead Vivek Ramaswamy to 10 points. Okay, so that's good news. Another thing here. Yeah, I know, shocking invalid axiom. I don't know if you guys know this, but war has unintended consequences. Yeah, that girls' school was coming right at us, right? Okay. Yeah, Godspeed, what are you referring to when you say that, okay? But Godspeed, when you say Godspeed, we should do that they should do imperialism because that's the only language these people understand. Who are you referring to? Are you saying that Middle East people from the Middle East are like barbarians who can only understand violence? Is that what you're implying? Because I do not appreciate that. That's really disgusting language. All right. So just to clarify, what do you mean? All right. Guy, sorry, I'm doing a teacher thing here where I'm like trying to okay. Godspeed, you disgust me. Bye-bye. You're gone. I can't. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with people coming in here today? I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. All right. Bye-bye. You're gone. I can't. Jesus. What? Really, folks? Like, what? I mean, I know not you guys, but what are we doing? Why are there so many loonies coming in here today? Like this, all these genocidal Islamophobes coming in here today. I mean, I'm not surprised. But anyway, dear God, probably because of the title of the stream. Jesus Christ. Okay, like how rare is it that someone like comes in here and is like, "I love imperial," like absolutely openly says, "I love imperialism. I want to do imperialism." Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, tear the fascists down. Yeah, Godspeed isn't normally that bad, but that's like I don't want to like yeah, Gwen, you might be right, okay? Dear God, it might be because it's Friday the 13th. Jesus, yeah, I thought Godspeed was normally pretty good, but I've never, you know what, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm gonna lose my mind. All right, another fun thing here, guys. Another fun thing. So we've talked before. I started doing that teacher move, folks, where I try to embarrass someone, and then I realize that I'm not in a classroom where I'm like, that is unacceptable, Godspeed, and then I do the pauses as if it's gonna be embarrassing, even though we're not in the classroom, so no one's gonna be looking at him to be embarrassed. Anyway, okay. So here we have another story. All right. Mm-hmm. Just another sign here of the okay, and that's quicker. How dare you? You're not allowed. I do need a classroom soundboard. You're right, Jonas. Jesus. Okay. Aircraft crash adds to rising U.S. death toll from Iran war. So, guys, there's two things with the American empire, right? Especially under Trump. We have a mix of evil imperialism and deep incompetence. Here's another example of incompetence. Remember, how dare you, Ninjester? Remember how one of our aircraft carriers was literally like a giant floating poop barge? Because we sent, I think it was the Gerald Ford? We sent it to the Middle East, and then like all the toilets broke down, so it was overflowing with shit, literally. And then they had to bring it into port to get the shit, like to get the toilets fixed because there was shit everywhere. We yesterday, one of our tanker refuelers, uh, 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 okay, our tanker refuelers. No, Elaney, this is incompetence. You'll see what I mean, okay? One of our tanker refuelers, which are not inexpensive aircraft, their job is to refuel aircraft in the sky when they're going from one place to another, okay? Literally, guys, okay. I don't think I need to explain how much you have to F up for this to happen in the sky. This tanker aircraft literally hit another plane, and it ran into another plane in the air. Now, the sky is a very big place, and these planes are supposed to have some of the most advanced radar equipment in the world, apparently. How the hell do you crash into another aircraft in the air over Iraq while doing okay? So, okay. Yeah, so anyway, this thing hit another aircraft, and then it resulted in it crashing in Iraq, killing 6 American, I guess, airmen, or whatever the phrase is. These things aren't cheap, but okay. I guess the pilot was trying to do a barrel roll or something. Like what? Okay. So just another sign of incompetence here. You know, the quote unquote most powerful military in the world can't get its shit together while trying to kill people all over the world. Okay. Yeah, I know, right, Elliot Waffles? It's just like what's happening? Like, I don't know. And guys, I gotta tell you, Inverted Panda, I'm glad you brought this up. Inverted Panda, you're smart. Inverted Panda says hit bad enough that it crashed, but the other plane was okay. I was about to mention, Inverted Panda, I don't necessarily buy that this is true. It may very well be the case that the plane was shot down. All right, it very well may be the case that this refueling plane was shot down, and they're lying about it and say, because that would be new. That would be probably the first time in American history that one of these planes was shot down. So it might be that Iran or someone else shot down this plane, and they're lying and saying that it hit another plane, because it is weird that there is no report of another plane crashing too if an air tanker hit it. All right. Okay. So that's no good, right? So it very well could be that it was hit by a missile. Yeah, probably, Drizella. All right. Yeah. So so here are our two options. One, we were so incompetent that we ran into another plane, or two, it was shot down. Either way, okay. So there you go. That's the story that's going out today. Just kind of a funny thing. Just kind of a funny, silly thing. I was scooping the random news, and I did see headlines and talk about the air tanker was shot down. Still skeptical until I have evidence, but the narrative is out there. Interesting and valid axiom. Yeah, we don't have evidence of this, guys, and there is a fog of war. But, you know, we'll find out. It's possible. Like, I would not be surprised if it is, in fact, like, incompetence. But it could also be that it was shot down. All right. Moving on, guys. All right. All right. So stupid, so stupid. Another thing here, guys, another thing. So this is just another side note here. All right. Nope, that's not this one. We just read this one. Where did the other one go? Here we go. So, all right, there is a court case going on right now. This is from The Intercept. There's a court case going on right now in, where is this shit happening? Where is this happening again? Oh, Texas. Over some of the protests that were happening against ICE officials. And the government, in this court case, they're trying to charge the protesters with terrorism charges. And they're saying that because these people, they're trying to say that they're Antifa, and therefore, because of Trump's terrorism laws, these people who are labeled as Antifa are terrorists and ought to be charged as terrorists. And one of the claims that the government is making in this trial is that one of the signs that these people are Antifa terrorists and ought to be charged with terrorism is the fact that they were wearing all black. So that's good. That's good. You're right. I'm sorry. Elliot Waffles. Well, executive orders do have the power of law in a lot of cases, but yes, I see what you mean. So that's good, guys. The very fact that they're trying to make the argument that these protesters were terrorists, even though only one of them admittedly did something that could be considered criminal, is very authoritarian and very dystopian. It is likely that this hearing might end up going to the Supreme Court, and they might end up deciding it, which isn't good. Yes, Lurking Snorleckard, apparently funerals are terrorism now. So just to read you some of the shit in here. All right. Okay. The government charged people involved with an anti-ICE protest with a slew of charges, including attempted murder and terrorism counts that defense attorneys said are being used to criminalize protests. There was a police officer injured. One of these protesters shot a police officer and injured them, but only one of them did. And then they're trying to charge all of them with terrorism. Okay. So that's good. They're asking you guys, okay, let's see here. By the way, the government, in order to make this argument, bombarded the jurors with images of radical zines, Z-I-N-E-S, printed on the press, anti-government internet memes, drawings of burning cop cars, and a video of an unidentified street brawl between far left and far right protesters. So they're saying... they are saying essentially that, you know, because these people were doing things like drawing burning cop cars and doing anti-government memes, that must mean that they are terrorists, which is illegal. That is free speech. They weren't calling for violence. That is free speech. You're allowed to do that. Okay. 8 of the 9 defendants on trial this month face material support for terrorism charges, including wearing black bloc clothes at the protest, which is just wearing... magazine. I'm sorry, zine. I don't know why I said zine. Okay. So that's good, right? Zines. All right. Defense attorneys argued Wednesday that prosecutors had wildly overcharged a case that would have centered on the alleged shooter, Benjamin Son, instead of the larger group. Okay. Yeah, Jonas. So, all right. This is just more fascism, guys. Much more fascism. Okay. They also, the government is labeling this group the North Texas Antifa cell. You know, kind of like you would say about Al-Qaeda or something. You know, it's an Al-Qaeda cell. It's a North Texas Antifa cell. Anyway, so, all right. Again, very dark. Okay. So, so anyway, just something to keep an eye on. We have to see how the court rules on this. If the jury agrees that this is that this is terrorism, that's a very bad sign. Okay, that would mean they could essentially criminalize any kind of protest where that has any sort of a link to protesting the government or anything. Okay, and they could find any evidence, basically, anti-government evidence, and then say you're a terrorist, even if it's something like a meme. All right, it does, Jonas. I think it probably was Stephen Miller who advised on this or something. Okay, even though this is a district court, I would not be surprised. Okay, so just something to think about. More fascism for all of us. I'm sure you're all very excited. Hello, Jameson. Welcome, welcome. Or James, I'm sorry, James Soon. Okay, James Oon. So just be cautious out there, folks. Be careful. All right. I know a lot of us are members of Antifa cells, okay, according to this definition, right? Okay. Anyway, I probably shouldn't say that out loud on the internet, but you see what I mean, okay? According to this definition. All right. So how could they use that to criminalize the way people dress down to any rebellious imagery, which I doubt is the long-term game plan? Yeah, I don't know. They're laws don't matter anymore, apparently. They have, Laqual. They've been trying to outlaw protesting. Correct. Okay, so that's another fun story, right, guys? So not only this is looking more and more like Nazi Germany. I mean, Jesus Christ. Okay, Jesus Christ. We're having you're right. Me too. I kind of want to see that organism invalid axiom. We have a government that is launching wars of aggression overseas, sometimes explicitly for the sake of gaining resources, sometimes for explicitly genocidal reasons. We have a government internally that is suppressing dissent, trying to make protesting illegal, is trying to basically get rid of the next elections or make them so biased that they don't matter anymore. That uses palingenetic ultranationalist language that uses Nazi-connected memes and propaganda, literally. What are we doing? We clearly fascist regime, right? We are living in a fascist government, and it becomes more and more obvious every single day. And are we and not much is being done about it. So just be aware, fascist regimes, the reason I don't like fascism, guys, there are many reasons, but one of the big reasons I don't like fascism is that it is a threat to the planet. Fascism is genocidal. It is fundamentally apocalyptic and self-destructive. It might end up destroying itself, but it'll end up destroying many other people first. It is a threat to the planet. It is a threat to the people of the United States and a threat to the planet. And our government is that regime. Okay, America is a massive threat to the planet. And this time we have nukes. Yes, Nestquicker, fascism is an anti-human ideology. It is a death cult. And these signs are here. And I am sick of hearing liberals. Does anyone know who Johnny Harris is? Okay, Johnny Harris did a video recently. He's a liberal on what is fascism. Okay, are we living in a fascist moment? And he posted this a few days ago. And I watched it, and in the end, he asked some experts, and some of them were like, no, it's not fascism. And then one or two were like, yes, it is fascism. But it's so obvious that it's fascism. The fact that we're still doing this false equivalence, that saying, well, it might not be fully fascist, drives me crazy, okay? Even if it isn't fully fascist, which I think it is, it's so much like fascism, you can call it fascism. Okay. Anyway, so it's just dumb that we can't. All right. Yeah. All right. So it's so stupid. And yes, you're right. If you know Marx, it becomes easier. Yeah, it just looks, guys, it's just quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, looks like a duck, and has the genetics of a duck, but it's not a duck, apparently. All right. So anyway, that's good. All right. And guys, to be clear, I'm going to put my face up before we go on to the next thing. All right. To be clear, guys, to be very clear, Uh, Fascism, right? There is a debate that goes on amongst academics about fascism. One of the debates here is that fascism is really an ideology. It's an ideology. It isn't necessarily a form of government. The form of government that fascist regimes typically take is authoritarian with a dictatorship. Some historians would argue that some experts, I should say, some academics would argue you can have a fascist government that is not authoritarian, that is actually democratic, at least partially in form. Because think about it. If you have a democratic system where 70% of your representatives are in a fascist party and they vote to do things like invade another country or expel the Jews or create concentration camps, and they view themselves as like embodying the will of the people, and they want to do palingenetic ultranationalism, does it really matter if it's a democratic regime or a dictatorship if ideologically and practically they're doing like the exact same things fascists do? So a lot of times you will hear people say that, no, we're not a fascist regime. We are an illiberal democracy. All right. It's because we still have a democratic form of government somewhat. But it's just that it's really hard for anyone else to win. And for it to be a fascist regime, we need it to have a dictatorship. That is not really the case. Yes, we haven't really seen a fascist regime that is like a completely democratic regime. But do you see what I mean, though? So just because something isn't fully totalitarian doesn't mean it's not fascist. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So Gwen says Nazis were democratic socialists. No, they were not, Gwen. That is completely wrong, Gwen. Sorry to say. The Nazis were not socialist at all. At all. Okay? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But like, I also don't really care. I don't care if we call it fascism, if we call it authoritarianism. It's fascism, but it's dangerous to sort of ignore that and to be like, no, it's not fascism. It's not that bad, right? So the reason I think it's important to call it fascism is that's a scary word. Yep. So Gwen, correct. The Nazis, the name of the Nazi party were the Democratic Socialists. The let's see here. The Nationalsozialistische Deutsche Arbeitenpartei, or the National Socialist German Workers' Party. They were not socialists, though, okay? It's kind of like how North Korea calls itself the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea. They're not democratic and they're not a republic. Socialism was very important at the time of the Nazis, so they adopted the socialist label. That was a very common label. They are not actually socialists, though. Okay, they are very far right-wing. Socialists are left-wing. The first people that the Nazis put into concentration camps, by the way, were communists, socialists, and trade unionists. Yeah, so they absolutely were not socialists or left-wingers. But I see what you're saying, Gwen. They did call themselves that, but they weren't that. Anyway, so, okay. But I'm just... Anyway, I don't know. This doesn't matter too much. This is all about words. This is all about words. Okay. All right. All right. So anyway, I know this is just me doing my academic nitpicking about the language we use, but like, I don't know why. And it kind of seems like a distraction at this point to be like, well, no, it's not actually fascism. Well, it's beside the point. Okay. Okay. It seems like cope. For a lot of liberals, it seems to me like cope. Because as soon as you identify it as fascism, it implies you have to take action. And a lot of people don't want to feel guilty for not taking action. So they're like, okay, exactly, invalid axiom. And I'm not going for the people out there that are in fact who are socialist and know Marx. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going down the Marx route here. Fascism doesn't have to be dictatorial if you look at the Marxist definition of fascism. But anyway, all right. All right. So guys, I wanted to do something with you all real fast. There is a because it's a I guess you could say it's a Friday. Sam, hello, Sam617, welcome. You say porn stars are closer to virgins than Nazis were to socialism. Correct, Sam. And guys, I don't think Gwen meant it that way, but yeah, but obviously I'm not sure what. Maybe I misunderstood Gwen, but yeah, the Nazis were not socialist at all. They were not democratic socialists. They were not anything like that. They were the opposite. They were the opposite end of the political spectrum. Okay, so right there you go, body swap. Someone tell Netan Poo Poo that he should rename his party to the Liberal Democratic Socialist Libertarian Republic of the Commonwealth of Israel. All right, so guys, let's do this real fast. This will be sort of fun. I think we can use it as a reason to talk about these things. I'm going to take in front of all of you this 8D political science political compass test, and I'm already embarrassed. I'll try to be honest, so I don't lie to you people about this. But if there's anything new in the news that you see while we're doing this, please let me know. So let's do this together. I'll try to answer honestly, so I don't embarrass myself here. Okay, so. Oh my God! First question here, and let's talk about it a bit. If I end up as a fascist, I'm going to lose my mind. The collection and use of personal data for advertising is advantageous for consumers. Strongly disagree. Okay, no. There was a left wing of the party, but they're all got purged. That they weren't even left wing though, Lacroix. Yeah, I know what you mean. There was and we could nitpick this. There were the Strasserites in the Nazi Party. There were a group of people called the Strasserites, folks, who were more pro-labor and more pro-socialism than the other side of the party, but they were nationalists. And nationalists aren't really left-wing, ultimately. But we could debate that. You could make the argument they're left-wing, but okay. Yeah. All right. So welfare programs that sometimes benefit those too lazy to work should be reduced or eliminated. Strongly disagree. To make compromises with your political opponents is to abandon your principles. This depends very heavily on who my political opponents are. Right? Like, if I'm having to compromise with social democrats, or like, I don't know, I'm going to say neutral. This really depends. Okay. Yeah. But like in the American system, like, I don't want to, it depends on the compromise. I'm going to say neutral or I'm not sure. It really does depend. Okay. I'm not going to compromise with fascists. Yeah. All right. Currency should be abolished. Okay. This is a hard one. Would I like it to be abolished ultimately? Yeah. It is very useful, though, in a lot of ways. We need to, okay, let's say, I'm going to say disagree. Or I'm sorry. No. I'm going to say agree, generally. I'm not going to go far, because guys, this is why I always say I'm not like some of the things that other lefties say I can sometimes get into disagreements with. Because how the hell do you... That's more of a civilizational thing. When you have a certain number of people in the world, okay, it's going to be really, you know what? I'm going to go back here. I'm going to say disagree. I don't think it should be abolished for a while, okay? When you have a certain number of people in a society, it's really hard to just do bartering. It just becomes very difficult. One of the reasons that currency came about was because it made it much easier to do trading and stuff. It isn't like it is always... Okay, it's complicated. Okay, it is sometimes acceptable for the state to authorize or conduct unethical experiments for research. Strongly disagree. No, thank you. All right. I know, Mithril. Ultimately, I would like it to go away, but like, it is not. It's complicated though, right? We have so many people in the world. Okay. All right. Military service should be mandatory. Strongly disagree. People should not worry about government surveillance if they have nothing to hide. Strongly disagree. Okay. Intellectual property is a legal fiction created by the state and should be abolished. Strongly agree. Guys, so intellectual property is so ridiculous to me. That you can create something and then for all eternity, you're the only one who can make money off of it. As if, like, creating one thing means you are entitled to all the value for that thing for all the rest of eternity. So, like, I feel like if you invent something that's good for society, that should be an award in itself. Yeah, maybe you should get a little bit of a benefit for it, but not for very long. Not for very long. Everyone should benefit off of what you off what you create. Okay? Now, when it comes this depends. Like if you have a book or something, all right. I think everyone should benefit off of what everyone creates. All right? Yeah. Here we go. I do not care how my nation is perceived by other nations. Strongly disagree. I want my nation to be, I mean, I don't really want a nation, to be honest, but I want my country to be respected because they're good people. And I want everyone other nation to be respected. I don't want there to be nation states in the end, but yeah, I want everyone to like each other and get along. Wait, did I just put strongly disagree? I meant to say strongly agree. I don't care how my nation is. No, I do strongly disagree with that. Okay. Yes, Quicker, I bet. I would rather be ruled by a dictator I agree with than an elected leader I disagree with. Strongly disagree. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, wealthy corporations should be prohibited from financial involvement in politics. Yes, guys. I think, as a matter of fact, guys, I think the corporations should have all the influence in politics, right? They should decide everything for us. They have our best interests in heart, right? 2 for 1, buy Coke today. Anyway, I strongly agree. They should be completely prohibited. Invalid axiom. I am the ruler of chat. Say something in chat if you support my regime. Exactly, okay? There you go, Sam. Okay, corporations equal real people. All right, exactly, Gwen. That's how our society looks right now. Okay, as we are controlled by corporations. The manufacturing industry should be publicly owned. Strongly agree, guys. I know we're very far from this, but I am a socialist. I think we should control our workplaces. Oh, that's shocking. I know. I think we should democratically control our workplaces. Right. I don't want our workplaces to be controlled by private tyrants who say what we do, when we do it, and then profit off of our labor. The employees should own the workplaces they work in, and they should decide democratically how to operate it. All right. We as the employees we can decide things democratically. We don't need some dictator to tell us what to do. We can decide how much each of us gets paid. We can decide, we can decide what to sell, when to sell it, how long to work, and things like that. We are not stupid. And there are people out there, by the way, invalid axiom, who will say, well, why do people who democratically own a business will make big mistakes because they don't have the expertise to run a business? What do you think happens right now? Do you think every CEO and every board of a business is competent? No. Okay. No. So, if there's people who are democratically running a business and they do it poorly, that business ain't going to do so well. That enterprise ain't going to do so well. But it's the same thing under capitalism, okay? And, all right. Yeah, guys, by the way, democratic ownership can mean multiple things. It could mean literally that businesses are still owned by, there's still a market, and businesses are just individually owned by the employees and not by the government. It could also mean state control of businesses. I kind of go back and forth, and it depends on what the business is. I think, for example, that utilities and vital industries do need to be controlled by the state. They do, okay? Like our electric grid, water, things like that, maybe even housing, food should be controlled by the state, okay? Healthcare should be controlled by the state. I am open, though, to having, like, some level of free market in regards to non-essentials, okay? So, like, yeah, we could maybe have a free market of employee-owned businesses for, like, luxury goods or shit like that, okay? Now, yes, I know, Matt Saigai, it's not a real free market, but, like, this is complicated, and I'm not fully set on it yet, okay? I am not fully set on it yet. All I know is that we need more democratic control of businesses. Okay, Sam. Sam says utilities should be state, municipal owned or cooperative. Yeah, Elliot, I agree. So you agree with corporations buying all other companies since corporations? Hilarious, Sam. Okay. But I am not like set 100% on how to do this, and I don't think anyone should be. I think we need to move towards democratic ownership and then adapt as we see how it goes, okay? One of the positive things, I guess you could say, about like China and the Soviet Union, partially, is that we have seen, especially in the Soviet Union, where state centralized control oftentimes doesn't work as well. If you like if you do everything based off centralized planning, it can have some bad outcomes. Like if you make a mistake, a bunch of people might starve to death, right? So those were early experiments in state socialism, and I think we can do better than that. So we can learn from past mistakes, okay? But anyway, and of course we need actual democratic control versus a dictatorship. All right, hello Mayflower Kid. So that would be my thought there. All right, publicly owned research institutions such as space programs should receive more. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. So, publicly owned research institutions such as space programs should receive more public funding. I strongly agree. Okay. Yeah, no, I agree, Sam. I agree. Okay, I agree with that. And I don't want to say people-owned, worker-owned. But yes, I see what you mean, Sam. Okay, I better leave room for the Labubus. I know, right? Okay. Starving to death in China is one of the least concerns. Matt Saigai, do you know anything about Mao Zedong? Because millions upon millions of people starved in China when they did centralized planning of agriculture because of mistakes that were made. So, yeah, right now they're not worrying about it, but that's because right now they're not fully state centralized controlled, in my opinion. Anyway, so no, talking about you, pig. No need for the condescension. Okay, okay. How dare you, Matt Saigai? All right, I know, but I'm going to condescend to you, Matt Saigai. All right. So anyway. Prostitution should be illegal. Strongly disagree. It's going to happen whether you make it legal or not. Why don't we goddamn regulate that shit, protect the women and the men who are doing it, and, tax that shit, whatever. Okay. It's much safer for women. Okay. But yeah, because they killed a bunch of birds. It's also because there was a lot of lying happening. So local Communist Party officials were not telling the full story on the ground. I am not a dangist, but Mao Zedong, guys, killed a lot of people partially accidentally. He didn't really respond the right way when he found out about it because local officials and stuff were lying about what was happening on the ground, and there wasn't really good democratic feedback except through this stovepipe party system to tell the top what was happening at the bottom. And so millions of people died, more than almost any other great starvation in history, because of mistakes that were made in centralized planning, amongst other things, okay? So we need to not let something like that happen, okay? And we need to, we have all drugs should be decriminalized. Now, oof. People are going to yell at me for this one. I disagree. I don't think all drugs should be decriminalized. I think most of them should be. Okay. I know this might be a personal issue of mine because I have experienced what some certain drugs can do to people, like methamphetamine. Really can absolutely destroy you. Really destroy you. Okay. I've seen it transform people into zombies. Okay. There are other things. Now, I don't necessarily think we should punish users, right? But maybe punish people who sell it, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure how to deal with this, folks, but there are certain drugs I don't think should be freely available. Admittedly, that might not help the situation much, but most drugs I think could be legal and then regulated. Criminals should not have the right to vote. Strongly disagree. Yeah, Lamira. I know too many people who have been destroyed by drugs have never touched that stuff a day in the life. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, all right. You know what, LaQual, you might be right. Let me go back here. All drugs should be decriminalized. You know what? That's fair. So I agree with that. Okay, you're right. I totally misinterpreted that question. I don't think people who use drugs should be punished. Okay, so I will say that. Yes, it should be decriminalized, and that the people that use the drug shouldn't be punished for it. I do think, though, that there should be legal consequences for the people that sell it illegally if they're selling drugs that do damage to people and stuff. So I will go back and change that. I do agree that users shouldn't be punished for using. They should receive treatment. Okay, I may have probably misinterpreted that question. Okay. Criminals should not have the right to vote. Again, strongly disagree. A society cannot derive a moral sense of right or wrong without religious values. Strongly disagree. Absolutely disagree. Shut up, Invalid Axum. I hate you. Okay. I did change it, Mayflower Kid. I changed it. So yeah, obviously, guys, you can be moral and not be religious. I would hope. Yeah, exactly, Jonas. Okay, exactly. I would hope that foreign board I'm sorry, what was the last one? You know that that you can be moral without being religious, obviously. Okay, I hope we know that. Okay, if anything, you can be religion can make you immoral also, right? It's not like being religious automatically makes you a good person. There are religious ideas that you wouldn't believe if you weren't religious that can make you a bad person, in my opinion. Drizzle, are you sure, Sam? Hilarious. Okay, so let's just be clear about that. It's interesting though. No one ever asked the question: can you be immoral and not be religious? Uh, okay, as in like no one ever thinks that, or can you be moral and be? You see what I'm saying? You can also be immoral and religious. Absolutely. Moving on. Foreign-born migrants should be required to learn our language. No, that's up to them. Although it's helpful for them a lot of the time. Lots of times they want to learn the language. I don't think they need to be required to learn it. I think, yeah, they should be taught the language, but if they don't succeed in learning it, well, okay, as long as they can, it's whatever. I really don't care. Maybe we should learn their language. I don't know. What is moral is just to say how well something fits in your moral framework. Exactly. Yeah, I agree, Mayflower Kid. We should be forced to learn other languages. Guys, there are tons of studies that show that people that know more than one language are better, are smarter. I don't want to say smarter, but they're better at understanding the world, because if language is also a framework for understanding the world around you. Okay. Okay, Mayflower Kid. Yeah, it is not easy, Jonas, that it's not easy to learn languages. Okay, the only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. So, strongly disagree. However, I think this is a trick question. Correct, Elliot Waffles. Okay, I think this is a direct question. I mean, that is. I'm sorry. This is a messed up question, because under capitalism, yeah, even if you tell a company to, hey, you need to have some social responsibility, that won't. Their underlying goal is still going to be profit. So to me, it's a contradiction to say that a company should have a social responsibility, because its job inherently is to not have a social responsibility and to make a profit. But I guess in theory, yeah, they should have a social responsibility. That's why I don't like capitalism. Okay. Corporate exploitation of cheap foreign labor ultimately benefits everyone. Strongly disagree. Obviously, strongly disagree. A person's gender identity may be different to their biological sex. Well, that's just a fact. Of course it can. Yeah, exactly, Jonas. Like carbon footprint BS, all right? Okay, I mean, we all, I hope everyone in this community agrees with that. A person's gender identity may be different to their biological sex, right? I mean, even if you don't believe that, it's just true that there are people who identify their gender as different from their sex. And you should believe it because it's a real thing and it's happened throughout human history. So, okay, moving on. Okay. Right. Okay. Government officials should be selected through a democratic process. I know it's bad that I'm pausing on this, but it depends on the position. So I will say I strongly agree. It depends on the position, right? I guess. Okay. We should prioritize the protection of our planet before we explore others. Yeah. Though admittedly, I'm okay with the wealthy and the powerful going off to Mars and leaving us here. I'm fine with that. Go ahead, Elon. Bye. the wealthy can go explore other planets and then leave us here, okay? But nepotism, Sam, I know body swap, right? So, but like the reason I'm not there are certain the reason I say that, guys, there's certain like government positions, like for example, should like the head of the CDC be chosen by democratic vote, or should it be selected like, and I don't know how you would do this. Like I don't know. There's no perfect way of doing that, okay? That's a government official who I don't know if it should be selected democratically. But then of course that opens the door to corrupt. There's a bunch of issue, okay? All right. Um yes, me too. They need to build Elysium and get off our planet. Oh god, this is hilarious, guys. Corporations can be trusted to operate ethically without excessive regulation. I totally agree, guys. The corporations are the most ethical in the world, right? Okay, no. No, I strongly disagree. They cannot be trusted to operate ethnic. Okay. I think it said okay, that's awesome. Yeah, what's that, guys? Right, Louise? That's a laugher. Okay. Religious attire should be required by law. Strongly disagree. Okay, what? No. Religious attire should not be required by law, all right? No one should be required. Like, who cares? Like, but also the hyper focus on this in some places is kind of, it's okay, who cares? Like, no, it shouldn't be required, all right? Obviously. Religious attire should not be required by law. My country's value and culture were better in the past than they are now. Oh, strongly disagree, okay? I don't think it's ever been that great. Let's be honest. Well, I mean, we got to make America great again. So what time period should we go to? Slavery, segregation, colonization, the conquest of Mexico, the conquest of the Spanish Empire. Where should we go back to where the values were better? Anyway, voting is pointless. No, it's not. I wish it had more of a point, but it is not pointless right now. I mean, now we're not talking. We're talking about voting in general, not voting in this system, right? Yeah, you're right, but they said voting in general, right? They didn't say voting in America. So yeah, ultimately, I'd love to have a system where voting was relevant, okay? But in our current system, the Democrats and the Republicans are basically one party owned by the business class and the elites, with a few good people on the left wing of the party, and they don't do much. We all know this. Not a fan of the Republicans or the Democrats. Okay. All authority should be questioned. Guys, what am I going to say about this? You all know what I say about this shit at the end of every goddamn stream. Yes, question all authority. Question all authority. Okay, please do. Now, does that mean I want to be clear though, that doesn't mean you should question people that are like experts who, you have good reason to listen to, right? If you have a good reason to listen to someone, listen to them. Okay? Like what I mean by that is like a doctor. If a doctor is telling you something, it is likely they are not doing it just for shits and giggles. Okay? That can sometimes happen. All right? But okay. Or like if you have a dentist or some shit, okay, or a scientist, does that mean they're perfect? No, but you should more likely believe that, okay? But you're right. This is where it's not perfect, right? Like Dr. Oz, shouldn't listen to Dr. Oz, but like you see what I mean though? This is a balancing act. Like obviously don't blindly listen to me, as I say at the end of every stream. Don't blindly listen to me. Don't blindly listen to anyone anyone. But try to have faith in some experts who might know a little more than you do and who went, no, okay? Guys, you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying believe every single person that has a doctorate. I'm talking about medical doctors. People who have expertises in things like keeping you alive, who have tons of experience dealing with a lot of people who have doctorate, who have medical conditions. I would really much rather trust them, okay? And shit like that. All right. So, but okay, you see what I mean? But that doesn't mean you shouldn't question it. Like, make sure you're listening to a good one. You get what I mean? Okay, whatever. Cannabis should be decriminalized. Strongly agree. It's beneficial for human labor to be made redundant through technological automation. Honestly, guys, I don't know. Human labor, like, it would be lovely if there was like, yeah, if we didn't have to work anymore and then everyone was happy and, but also labor is part of humanity. I'm going to, and, generally I'm going to say, honestly, I don't know. But see, the problem here is that there are really big negative consequences to this if it's a bad, exactly. If you're not in a socialist government or like in a fair government, you got a problem. Okay, so I'm gonna say honestly, guys, I'm gonna say neutral, not sure. I'm gonna say neutral, not sure. Okay, the consumption of animal products should be phased out due to environmental and ethical concerns. Oh my God. Okay, honestly, yeah. Okay, listen. I am a carnivore. Okay, I love meat. I love eating animals. Okay, I love eating cows. I love eating pigs. I love eating chickens. I love eating eggs. I love eating things made from animals. Okay, I love it. I love fish. I love ducks. Okay, put it in my mouth. I will eat it. I love sausages. I love meat. Okay, that being said, okay, that being said, it is true that the consumption of animals is largely bad for the environment. Okay. I also like deer, Jonas. I love eating meat. Okay. I do, LaCroix. I love having meat. Okay. And I'm not going to say what you said, LaCroix, bad LaCroix. Okay. But I do think over time it would be much better if we did not eat animals. It'd be better for the environment. It'd be better for our health. It'd be better for animals. Okay. So this is complicated. Human beings have always eaten animals. But I would say, yeah, I guess I agree, but it's not something I'm pushing for, though, right? It'd be nice if over time that was the case, but I'm not a vegetarian. I probably never will be. All right. So I agree, but I'm too weak to do that. We should eat humans instead. Hey, why not? Recycle humans. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. A region in which secession has democratic support should be recognized as an independent nation. Yeah, why not? Why not? If a region, now this is complicated. Like it has to be done legally. If I guess, well, it depends. Okay, like that makes it sound like I'm saying that, like the Confederacy should have left. Well, they illegally left, and they left violently through legal means. If a place wants to independence, they should have independence. I don't give a shit. Now, technically, we shouldn't have any sort of nation states, but if a group of people want their independence, I don't care. Do it. Okay, sure, strongly agree. Whatever, it's fine. My country should open its borders to countries with similar cultures, governments, and judicial systems. How did the Confederacy leave illegally? They declared war on the United States. They announced their succession without going through Congress, and then they started bombarding federal American forts and launched a war of secession. So, okay. This is a hard one because, okay. What? Yeah, because, yeah, I think we should open our borders to countries with similar cultures and judicial systems, but I think we should open our borders to any country. So for me to say no to this implies I don't want immigrants from those countries, but I'm okay with that. I'm just okay with immigrants from anywhere. Yeah, you have to be specific, right? It doesn't necessarily say the opposite. This is a hard one. I mean, I agree with that, but I also don't want to limit. Jesus. Okay. Well, I'm just going to say strongly agree. I hope they're not going to take this as me being a nationalist or some shit. What do we think I should do on this one? Okay. What do we think I should do on this one? This is really hard. Oops. Okay. Neutral. Okay, I'll do neutral. I don't want it to affect. Elections should be publicly funded to reduce the influence of private money. Strongly agree. My country's culture is superior to other cultures. Strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. Okay, dear God. No culture is superior to any other culture. Cultures are just cultures. Okay, they don't, it's, okay. Okay. Dear God. The burger culture is supreme right now. God. Ugh. All right, violent revolution is, oh God, this is going to get me banned. Okay, yeah, this is fun. Violent revolution is justified if the ruling party maintains control by undermining democracy. Strongly agree. Okay, moving on. Next one. Yeah, right. Strongly agree. My nation should topple foreign governments which do not follow my nation's principles. Oh, of course, guys. I love spreading freedom and democracy. Strongly agree. Strongly agree, right? We need to just attack everyone who disagrees with us. Okay. Only casual revolting, damn it. So, strongly agree. Or strongly disagree. I'm sorry. Strongly disagree. Right? My political philosophy is derived from my faith. Oh, guys. All right, guys. Okay, strongly disagree. All right. Okay. Politicians generally serve my interests. No, they don't. All right. Okay. Whistleblowers who reveal crimes committed by the government should not be prosecuted. Strongly agree. Okay, strongly agree. Like, and by the way, yeah, Lamira says, CR, we know you play for the Lord every night, for everything. I do, Lamira. Praise Jesus, okay? Whenever I pray a lot to God when I read the news. I'm always like, oh my God. So I do pray a lot where I'm like, oh Jesus. But other than that, that's about it. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. Nope. I really wish everyone obey international law. They don't, but okay. You know, I know it's kind of ideological me. I do like telling people to go to hell, Jonas. That is true. I do that a lot too. I take the Lord's name in vain quite frequently. Remember how yesterday I was talking about how Jesus is homoerotic? Anyway, we don't need to be reminded of that. All right, as long as their job is okay. Yeah, okay. So I support the death penalty for serious criminals, even if some are falsely accused. No, I disagree with that. Especially if especially if you add the add-on there that if they might be falsely accused, definitely no. Okay, God, Drizella, right? Religious values should inform the law. No. Now, okay. No, they shouldn't. I will say there are some religious values that have become that are also secular values now. But no, they shouldn't inform the law. You see what I mean? Like, okay, like there's some overlap, but that doesn't mean that they're fundamentally religious. Okay, yeah. There you go. Yeah, Jonas. We have the Mamdani Sharia Caliphate over in New York City. I highly support that. All right. Okay. Trump failed. The way you say Jesus with ATH on the end gets me harder than a diamond. My God. All right. Freedom of speech should be protected, even if it's offensive or untrue. I don't know. I would originally have said strongly agree on this, but have been kind of having issues saying that. I of late have had issues with this. It depends. Okay, like if you're spreading like misinformation about COVID vaccine not working, you should be in prison. I don't give a shit. If you're out there openly lying about something that's going to get people killed, you should be in prison. If you are doing massive hate speech that is getting people killed, you should be in prison. So I'm going to say I agree. But it doesn't mean that I always agree. Maybe I should do neutral, not sure. Yeah, I'm going to say agree, okay? I don't want I think people should be held liable for public health misinformation. I don't give a shit. All right? Okay, I'll say I agree. I don't strongly agree, but I agree. Right? Okay. Let's go to this next one. The wealthy should be taxed all of their income in excess of an upper limit. Strongly agree. That we should have no billionaires. I would say we should have no millionaires, but hey, I'm willing to say after you make $1 billion, you've had enough. Okay. Probably even less than that. Maybe start at 500 million. If you're not allowed to have 500 million or more. All right. Straight K. If you're Ted Cruz saying Christ is king is anti-Semitic, straight to jail. Yeah, that's okay. All right. All right. So torture, even during warfare, is morally wrong. Yeah. No, thank you. Right, Jonas? Okay, bro, the number one reason to strongly agree is to not give them power of oppression. They're already doing that, evil resident. They're already doing that. And they will do that whether you've done it or not. Okay, I got to tell you that historically is the case. I got to tell you, like, for example, in Germany, there are laws against speaking positively against the Nazis and displaying a swastika and stuff. They have not seen an uptick in the government suppressing speech rather than normal, okay? You can do limits without it going crazy. And they're the ones stopping the speech to begin with. So if you were to, you can strongly agree with free speech and agree on criminal. No, but that's not how it was phrased, evil resident, if I may say so. If you go back here, it says freedom of speech should be protected even if offensive or untrue. So that's not what it is, okay? It was basically saying that even if it's like hate speech, it should be protected. Strongly agree. Police should be granted greater power to protect us. I'm sorry, go back here. Torture is morally wrong. Yes. The police should be granted greater power to protect us from extremists. Strongly disagree. Yeah, nope, grind car, but that's no different than places like America, than places like the UK. So, and that would happen whether or not they did the other thing either. You see what I mean? It hasn't added or taken anything away from what they would do to us normally. Oh, I know, grind card. German laws against speaking out against Israel are horrible. Certain social media platforms should be owned and regulated by the government. Strongly agree. Now, I would much rather that be the case if it was democratically owned and controlled by the government. But, you know, in the meantime, all right. Fair, grind car. Essential utilities like electricity and water should be publicly owned. Strongly agree. Okay, strongly agree. Nuclear energy production should be phased out due to environmental or health risks. I disagree. I say that because it is so much better than fossil fuels, okay? And people, I think, there are environmental and health risks, but they're very low, okay? They're very, very low. There have been compared to coal, oil, and shit like that, okay, compared to all of that shit, nuclear, bye-bye, grind car, nuclear energy is not that bad. Okay, so I disagree with that. Ultimately, it does. I ultimately wish that we didn't have to rely on that or anything else apart from like clean, completely clean shit, but, okay, anyway, I'm going to agree. All right. Or disagree. Okay. They're already doing that isn't a valid response. So you know how you disagree with torture. Apply the same reason. I think the question is open. I disagree, the evil resident. I just do. Okay. Torture is not the same thing as punishing people for like doing healthcare misinformation or doing hate speech that incites violence or whatever it may be. But we can disagree on that, the evil resident. Okay. Okay. So I'm okay with that. So, all right, atheism should be enforced by the state. Strongly disagree. I may not be a big fan of religious belief and stuff, folks, but I don't want there to be a government deciding what is religious belief and what religious speech to, or what religion to crack down on and shit. Okay. Yeah, that worked real well with the Shah, didn't it, Jonas? Like, it just, I don't like that. Now, obviously, if there are religious beliefs that are really bad for society and are hurtful, like let's say you have a religion that, I don't know, does human sacrifices. No, you can't do that, okay? But, you know, I'm not going to go cracking down on religions. Okay, let's go on to this next one. No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Strongly disagree. Now, obviously, if there are religious beliefs that are really bad for society and are hurtful, like let's say you have a religion that, I don't know, does human sacrifices. No, you can't do that, okay? But, you know, I'm not going to go cracking down on religions. Okay, let's go on to this next one. No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. That's badass invalid axiom. Okay. Exactly. That's why we have laws, but we should not be cracking down on religious beliefs. Okay. I don't need to okay. I don't need to deal with that. I don't want to you ban the practice, not the religion. Exactly, Mayflower. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's not banning a religion. So I just don't think we should be banning religions. That's, by the way, if you do that, you're just going to empower the religion anyway. And then how do you decide what's a religion and what's not a religion? All right. Okay, this one is weird. No one chooses the country of their birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Yeah, I would generally say I strongly agree. I will say this. That doesn't mean that what if you're born in a country that is doing pretty cool things? I guess you could. There you go, Sam, right? I guess you could be proud of it as long as you're proud of it for what it's doing and not because you're born there. Exactly, Gwen, right? So I would say strongly agree. Like, it's foolish to just be proud of your country because you're born there. Like, you don't choose that shit. Okay, you don't choose that shit. Mayflower, can I understand? Like, you could say disagree or like agree, I guess, because you could be proud of your country if it's done something you like. But if it's just because, exactly, Lemira, like if you can't choose your parents, but you can be proud of them. So I'm gonna say strongly agree, but I can see an argument for being proud of your country if it does something good, if that makes sense. Exactly, but I think they're asking it for nationalist sentiment, which is why I'm answering the way I'm doing it. Okay, there you go, Sam. All right, people are gay. There, some of you choose that order. Okay, so stereotypical gender roles are justified because they exist due to biological differences. Strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. Okay, foreign-born migrants should not have the right to vote. Strongly disagree. Now, there are some things like you need to be aware, like people need to know how to vote, what they're voting for, and the implications of their vote, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't be allowed to vote. Okay. All right. And that's not like because I don't trust them to do it. It's just that it's an educational thing, right? You need some civics education to properly vote and to understand what it's about and things like that, who you're voting for. But like, that's not, I don't think it should be that tough of a requirement at all. You see what I mean? Because like, if you're voting for president, you need to know, what does the president do? You see what I mean? So, but like, that doesn't mean that they should be restricted. Okay. I agree. If they get taxed, you should be able to vote. So, but that's the other thing though, guys. If they're not being, I feel like if you're being taxed, you should be able to vote. So if you're not able to vote, you shouldn't be taxed, in my opinion. Well, okay, this is complicated. I know you're right, LaQual. Most Americans don't know that stuff, which I didn't mention, which also implies, by the way, that Americans really ought to know, some Americans need some better civics education too. But in any case, that has nothing to do with migration. It has to do with what people know about what they're voting for. You see what I mean? Okay, so like, all right. No, I know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. All right. I'm just spitballing. People are ultimately more divided by class than nationality. Strongly agree. Strongly agree. Okay. Strongly agree. Strongly agree. Okay. So yeah, we're much more divided by class than nationality. You all know that, right? We have people in here from all around the world. We don't seem that different from each other, do we? Because we're not. We're all human beings. Okay, we're all human beings. Yeah, Gweb. We have civics classes too, but I was responsible for giving the civics test when I was a government teacher, and wow, there's a lot of issues. Okay, moving on here to 56. Yeah, in a bit here, Drusilla, after we finish this. We have a few more to do. Violent revolution is sometimes justified against a popular and democratically elected government. Here's my question. Is it actually a democratic government, or is it like an American democratic government? Because if it's like a democratic government in quotes, no thank you, right? Because like if it's a real democratic government, I don't know. This is tough. Because guys, what if there's a democratic government that is doing genocide? So I'll say I agree. I'm sorry, disagree. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say neutral. I think this really depends. Um, I'm going to say disagree. No, I'll say disagree. Okay. It is never acceptable for protesters to break the law. Strongly disagree. Okay. Free access to the internet should be provided by the state as a public utility. Agree. The government should never interfere with religious traditions. I strongly disagree. There are some, yeah, Mithril. There are some times the government should be able to interfere with religious traditions. I'm sorry. Again, if you see what I'm saying here, no. It said violent revolution. It said, should you do a violent revolution against a democratically elected regime? And I said I disagree. All right. Yeah, like a human sacrifice, right? Like if you're doing human sacrifices, there's a group in, I believe, Tennessee that are, what are they, guys? They're the ones that play with the poisonous snakes. And then once in a while, you'll hear about one of them getting bitten, die. You see what I mean? They get bitten and they die. Sam, I don't think that should be legal. I think that should be left up to adults. But no one will ever agree with me on that, Sam. Yeah, because I think circumcision is genital mutilation. But I'm never going to win that battle, so I don't make that battle. I think that should be made illegal. I know that sounds... Okay, Brightliv, you know it. I think that some of those practices are very harmful and dangerous, and I don't know if the government should allow them. But, okay, circumcision, I do view it as genital mutilation. I think it should be illegal, or at least it should only be legal if you're an adult. I don't think children should have that forced upon them. I know I'm in the United States, and the majority of Americans, the vast majority of Americans, males, get circumcised. So I'm not trying to, okay, no, Retro Asher. Retro Asher, let's put it that way. Let's put it this way. Circumcision prevents infection because it's less flesh on your body. Okay, it's less flesh on your body. Yeah, if there's less flesh on your body, you're less likely to get an infection because there's less flesh to get infected. There's also dirt can build up underneath that part of your body, but you just clean it. And I know that's weird. I'm not going to... Oh my God, we have a wind warning today. If the electricity goes off, folks, because of the wind, just wait and I'll come back on. Okay. Why do non-religious people get it? Because, Jonas, it's become in the United States, it's become a cultural tradition. It's sort of just, we just do it in the U.S. It's become sort of a cultural thing. So, yeah. So it is not, okay. Right. Skin is a barrier to infection. Yeah, exactly, Mayflower Kid. Like, that is a prevention. It prevents. Yeah. Now there are rare instances. There are rare instances where there's a good medical reason for to have it, but those are rare. All right. Yeah, but those are very rare. All right. So anyway, right, Mayflower Kid. Mayflower Kid's a doctor. Mayflower Kid might be able to help us on this. But regardless, it's genital mutilation, in my opinion. Whatever. Okay. The government should never interfere. So I strongly disagree with that. Yeah, excellent in your groove. Okay. But again, guys, I'm not really pushing for that. There you go, Gwen. It's just like, and you know what's funny, guys, is that we will often talk about female genital mutilation, and we scream about that. And typically that is worse. That is worse. Okay. That is a lot worse than circumcision, but it's still another form of genital mutilation. Anyway. The state should subsidize private companies that invest heavily in scientific or technological research. No. I don't think the state should be subsidizing companies. Why are we giving private tyrants money? A united world government is a goal mankind should strive for. Yeah, if it ever happens. Would you support the government paying for people who were forced to get circumcision to get their hoodies back? I don't know, Sam. I would have to think about that. Probably not. Probably not, to be honest with you. Okay, but I'd have to think about it. Yeah, but Gwen, you're right, Gwen. So Gwen says, especially in the case of women, it's so that they can't feel sexual pleasure. I don't mean to be gross, but it's the same in men. There are a lot of nerve endings in that part of your body, the foreskin. Okay, I'm sorry, this is gross, guys. I'm sorry. And there are a lot of the religious tradition going back to getting your foreskin removed is about repressing male sexual desire. I know, but a lot of people get uncomfortable in valid axiom when I talk like this. Okay. So yeah, you remove a guy's foreskin. It's gross. I'm saying this, guys. I'm saying that because whenever I talk about this stuff, there are people in the chat who get uncomfortable, and I understand. I'm just saying I'm apologizing because it might be gross for some people. All right. If talking about genitalia can be triggering or traumatizing to people. All right. So for men, it can reduce sensation. So it does also reduce sensation in men. All right. Anyway, wouldn't the protection of skin help keep it sensitive underneath? Yeah, Nesquicker. All right. I'm just saying. So it also represses feeling in men. Now, luckily, most of the men who are circumcised, that's okay, Gwen. Most of the men who are circumcised never know that. But regardless, all right, moving on. I know, guys, but all right. You, Doug. Okay. Oh, correct, Sylvie. Yeah, FGM does not, but okay. All right, moving on. New technology should be regulated to prevent the automation of jobs and minimize unemployment. Yeah. Okay. Abortion should be recommended during pregnancies in which genetic illnesses are identified. God, this is a hard question. Ultimately, guys, my opinion is I don't know. That's none of my business. Okay. Women can decide what they want to do. The reason I paused was because I suddenly had this sense of like, what is it called? Like eugenics, where you like trying to destroy a fetus or a baby because you don't want it to, you think it's inferior or whatever. But honestly, I don't want this to be I don't want to be the one that decides this. If a woman who's having a baby or a man, okay, wants to say it, yeah, it doesn't say enforced, it says recommended. I mean, I don't know if they should recommend it. That's none of my business. I don't if the doctor wants to recommend it, if they it depends on the genetic illness. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to say I don't know enough. I don't know exactly, Gwen. I don't know enough. It's none of my I don't know. It's not my business. Okay. I'm going to just say neutral, not sure. I really don't know. It can be, but it should not be, Mayflower Kid. Okay, that's fair. Again, I'm not having the baby. I'm not the one who has to raise the baby. Okay, the child if it comes to life. All right. And given that this country doesn't help people raise children, anyway. All right. So I'm going to go on with that. Okay, universal services or incomes are desirable ways to redistribute production of an automated workforce. Yes, strongly agree. Gotcha, Mayflower Kid. Okay. Again, the Mayflower Kid, I'm going to say I don't know because I literally don't know enough. I believe you, but I don't know enough. Okay. The rich are too highly taxed. Strongly disagree, folks. Okay. The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. I'm going to say I agree. The reason I don't strongly agree is because there have been some scientific things, there's been some scientific things like the invention of different medicines, and it increased quality of life. You know what? I don't know. This is a hard one though because it also has been very harmful in a lot of ways. The environment has destroyed the environment. It's caused massive wars. Yeah. Gosh. But okay, I don't know. This is very hard. I'm not sure. I feel like it's an even mix. The more I think about it, I'm going to go neutral. Okay, it depends. It depends on what you look at it. It did. Okay. Hey, that's fair. Retro Rasher, you yeah, okay. It's a hard one. It's a tech question, right? That's why I'm not sure. But also, guys, like you think about it, human beings were probably much happier off as hunter-gatherers historically than they were living in a capitalist industrial society. But at the same time, was the Industrial Revolution better than serfdom? Probably. Yeah. I really don't know. I'm going to go back. I'm going to stay neutral. I don't know. Okay. So illegal immigrants who are not political refugees should be deported without exception. No. I'm not a monster. I'm not the goddamn Trump administration. Okay. Radical ideas can be dangerous, so it is best to change society incrementally. I strongly disagree. It depends. They didn't have the dentist or toast or socks pass. Yeah, correct. But like that's what I'm saying, though. There are also bad things. It's destroyed the planet, guys. It has resulted in much more massive wealth inequality, pollution, wars, massive industrialized warfare, and then it's also caused an increase in science, like scientific. So it's a mixed bag. All right. The government is trustworthy. Strongly disagree. Now, obviously, I wish it were, but it's not. And even if it was trustworthy, you should always doubt it because it can always become untrustworthy. So no. Oh my God, disgusting. Okay. Certain ethnicities, genders, or sexual orientation should sometimes be given preferential treatment. Preferential. So no, but God damn it. Oh, I hate this question. Yeah, you're right. They've been historically screwed, that's for sure. But the phrasing of this question, I don't view that as See, here's the thing, guys. I don't view that as preferential treatment. I view that as equalizing treatment, right? You try to raise up people who were not equal previously, so I don't view it as preferential as much as equalizing. But so I think based off how they're phrasing it, yeah, I'll say I agree because I think that's what they mean. Okay, I'm all about equity, so like, yeah, people should. Right. Okay, you see what I mean. Well, I'll say I agree because I think they're trying to go with like woke, like they're framing it out, trying to see how woke you are in a way, if you know what I mean with that. Okay, whatever. Diplomacy is a better foreign policy asset than a strong military. Yeah, obviously. Okay, genetic modification of human embryos for cosmetic reasons is immoral. Cosmetic reasons? Yeah. Yep. Okay, I don't think you should be editing just for that's really weird to me. That's so dystopian to edit the genome of your baby just for cosmetic reasons. Like, what the fuck? That is the most goddamn consumer-coded shit in the world. Okay. Okay. Next one here. I support lowering the legal voting age. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so. We could make it 16, I guess. I'm going to say I don't know. I could make the argument either way because I taught, and I also know that teenagers can sometimes not be the best. But at the same time, I also think some teenagers could make good decisions about that. Yeah, so I'm going to say that. I'm going to say I don't know. I think it depends. That's fair, Druzilla, okay? Is it acceptable for the state to censor websites which speak negatively of the government? Strongly disagree. No, it's not okay for the state to censor websites. Okay. Yeah, me too, Ox. When I was like I think I was like 15 or 14, I was like libertarian coded because I was ignorant. And then, later I changed. International wealth redistribution programs should be implemented to mitigate global inequality. Strongly agree. Now I would have to see the details. There are casual How dare you, Paul Squaw? No, no, no. All right, I wasn't. I was not. I mean, I was a teenager. I was still in high school. I didn't know what I was doing. I know it is Sam, but hey, guys, I was like a child, right? I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was in high school, and I very quickly changed. But I loved Ron Paul, but I didn't know much about politics at the time. But by the time I left high school, I was already left wing, and then was really left wing in college. Okay, anyway, um, and I never voted. I never voted as a libertarian, so that's good. All right, basic needs for survival should be unconditionally provided for. Strongly agree. I actually didn't, Sam. I never read Ayn Rand. I hate Ayn Rand. Okay, guys, you want to hear something cool? One of the ways that really sped me away from libertarianism was a game I played. Someone guess, what game do you think I played that made me really dislike libertarianism, or I was already not liking it. There you go, LaCroix, BioShock. Okay. When I started playing, I was already getting away from it, and then I played BioShock, and it kind of really got me out of that hole. Okay. So that's good. Scientific research should be freely available to the public rather than restricted or sold for profit. Yep. Strongly agree. Okay. All taxes should be abolished. No. Now, if I were, no. Strongly disagree. We need taxes to some extent. I mean, we'd have to live in like a perfect communist society for there to be no taxes, essentially, for this to work. But even then, you might have to pay taxes for the community to be able to do stuff cumulatively. I agree, Sam. We need to get rid. I hate sales taxes. They're so stupid. Now I'm okay with luxury taxes, but not sales taxes, right? Like I'd love some taxes on yachts and shit like that. Those with the ability to pay should have the option to receive better health care or education. No. Okay, everyone should receive access to the same health care and education. I don't give a shit. I don't like sales taxes. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Okay. The environment cannot accommodate the current human population without a reduction in consumption. Well, that's not true. That's openly not true because the current human population is surviving. So I'm not quite sure what they mean by this. A reduction in consumption. If you mean like we can't really survive if we keep going the way we're going when in terms of climate change and shit. But like this depends. You mean like okay. I will say agree because the framing is ruining it for me. Yes, we do. Well, yes, we need less consumption, but like you could still what if you had cars that were clean? Okay, I'll say strongly agree. Okay. The public should directly vote on important policy decisions rather than relying on representatives. I don't know about that, Mayflower Kid. I really don't know. Mayflower Kid, you say new inventions are coming. I will say, Mayflower Kid, I've been hearing that for years. And I feel like it's cope from the major corporations and stuff. They always are like, don't worry, we're working on it. Don't worry, we're working on it. Don't worry, the inventions are coming. And it really is a nice thing to say because it keeps people... That's fair, Mithril, more equitable consumption. It keeps people sort of stops them from taking action. But in the end, we're still headed towards climate disaster. But okay. All right. The public should vote directly on important policy decisions rather than relying on representatives. Well, yeah, but I don't think that'll ever work. We're just too many people. International tax system should be implemented to mitigate tax avoidance. Sure. That sounds lovely. Okay. Yeah, the app to help you track your acts. Right. Voting should be mandatory. No. Oh, God. In some countries, it is mandatory. Let's put it this way. I think it should be mandatory if it were easy to vote and we had a national day off of voting. Okay. So I'm going to say I agree. Okay, I agree. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know. Okay, economic inequality is a greater issue. Yes, okay, is a greater issue than social inequality. Strongly agree. Um, so would we have Trump if it was mandatory? Maybe not, but that could change sometime, Gwen. It could go the opposite way. All right. Land should not be a commodity to be bought and sold. I agree. Well, I strongly agree. Justice should be primarily rehabilitative rather than punitive. Strongly agree. There should be no minimum wage. Oh my God, you got to be kidding me. There should be no minimum wage as employers know what is best, what a worker's labor is worth. Strongly disagree. Okay, I think we all know that's bullshit. Economic regulations should be tightened to more effectively prevent the emergence of, right, Lamira? The emergence of monopolies. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. By the way, guys, I 350. Speaking of wages, I please donate if you can. You can send me a super chat over on YouTube or bits over on Twitch. If you like my content, you can subscribe and become a member for as little as $1 a month over on YouTube, and you get access to cute little jester hat next to your name and emojis. Thank you so much, Dolly Boy. So if you're over on Twitch, please follow me. And if you like what I do here, you could subscribe for free using Amazon Prime, and then you'll no longer have to see ads. Okay. So how dare you, Dolly Boy? Okay. Thank you, Dolly Boy, for the contribution. I just realized I've gotten like, well, it doesn't matter. Okay. So, okay. My nation, thank you so much, Lamira. Thank you. You know it, Lamira. I am working for the money. Okay. I'm trying my best here. All right. Follow for Bromps. Thank you, Body Swap. Okay, yes, please follow the stream. I just realized I haven't advertised it and I haven't made much this stream, so clearly I need to shout out more, okay? I need to self-promote. All right. My nation should not be dependent on other nations for resources. Okay, this is an idea called autarky, which is a very fascist idea. And I don't care. I'm okay with being dependent on other nations. I wish we didn't have nations. Thank you, Jonas. Thank you, LaCroix. Really, guys, thank you. I didn't mean to guilt trip you, I hope you know. I was just, thank you. Okay. Like, if as long as there's like trade going on between the countries, it doesn't really matter to me. Thank you so much, Lamira, Jonas, LaCroix, and Dolly Boy, okay? Promote your personal brand, CR. No, I promise that's not corpo speak. I know. Okay, I know. All right. I hate doing it. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to say I disagree. I'm okay with us relying on other countries too, as long as we trade. Matt Sai Guy, thank you, Matt Sai Guy. Okay, as you did, it's fine. You need to eat. We get it. Yes, you did. That's true, Jonas. Thank you. Thank you, Jonas. Okay, thank you, Matt Sai Guy. Okay. Okay. I meant to self-promote. It doesn't matter. Screw it. No one's going to believe me. Okay. My national identity is important to me. No. Strongly disagree. I don't give a shit. My human identity is what's most important to me. International connectivity facilitated by modern technology is ultimately beneficial for mankind. Yeah. I'll say I agree. I think it's allowed people to humanize. All right. Failfish. Okay. Revolution is the only way to achieve the society I desire. Thank you, Invalid Axiom. The only way? No. I disagree. The political system should be trusted to reform itself. Strongly disagree. It won't. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you guys for feeding me. Okay. Yeah. Casual revolution. I don't think we need, I think it's unlikely we'll be able to do it without that. But anyway, government should not favor or discriminate against any particular religion. Strongly agree. Okay. Due to ethical concerns, abortion should be restricted in most or all circumstances. Strongly agree. It should not be restricted in most or all circumstances. Okay. Sacrifices to living standards should be made if they are necessary to preserve the environment. Yeah, strongly agree. You can't survive if you don't have the environment, folks, okay? So there you go. A carbon tax should be implemented to encourage the free market to minimize greenhouse emissions. We need more than that, but I strongly agree. Is that it? Do I go to the results? It says there's 2 more. Oh, wait. Religious traditions hinder technological and social progress. I don't want to do this in front of all of you. Yes. Agree. Okay. My nation's political system. Yeah. I gotta say strongly agree. I'm gonna say strongly agree. It's like a lot of the time, yes. Okay, my nation's political system. I know my nation's political system is dysfunctional and must be reformed. Strongly agree. Faith schools indoctrinate children and should be restricted or banned. I know, Jonas. I'm sorry, Jonas. Forgive me. I know. Faith schools indoctrinate. Louise, thank you so much, Louise. Okay. Faith schools indoctrinate children and should be restricted or banned. No, I strongly agree. Strongly agree with that. I strongly agree. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's see here. Moving on here. We will, yeah, I think that needs to not happen, in my opinion. But okay, that's not exactly something I'm pushing for. I'm not going to like go out there and be like, we need to restrict these things. But if I had the choice, okay, let's see here. What do we get? What are our results? Let's see what our results are. Oh God, what? Drag the missing road to help the penguin cross the road? The fuck? Drag the missing, what? What? Oh, I see. Okay, there we go. Let's help the penguin cross the road. Verify. All right, that was weird. Yeah, except for Gazoo. We like Gazoo. All right. So I am very socialist, very progressive. So, okay, well, wow, this isn't surprising at all. All right, I'm a Marxist. Okay, I'm a Marxist like by 60%. I'm a communist by 59%. I'm a feminist by 58%. Yeah, Gwen, okay. I'm an anti-fascist by 58%. Democratic socialist by, this is not surprising at all. Okay, I'm left-wing, yeah. Anarchist and internationalist. Yay, okay, yay. So that's good, Yay, that's great. 57% Democratic Socialist, so you're a Nazi? How dare you, Sam? Okay. I did not get help from you. How dare you, Lamira? Okay. Only 58%. What do you mean almost 58%? This doesn't mean that you're like lacking the other amount, okay? How dare you? All right, how dare you? Okay, so yeah, that makes more sense. Except I'm much more towards secularism. All right. Okay. Matt Saigai, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Really, thank you. All right, this is interesting. You know, you can see other axes. What about my society axes? I am really politics. I'm a major populist. What is this shit? I don't know what this. I'm not a centralist. What does that mean? Well, I guess that means like, I don't know. I'm a what? I don't know what these mean. I really don't know what any of these mean. Who knows? Okay. So sounds like you're a postmodern Marxist. What does that mean? Okay. What is a, okay. I know what that means. I'm not a neo-Marxist. Well, I have some neo-Marxist belief. Okay. I don't know what that means, but it's just like, okay, I don't know what that means. But there you go, guys. If you want to take it, here, I'm going to post it in the chat here. Or I don't know. Just you can find it, whatever. Okay. So there's my result, folks. I'm a goddamn Marxist, communist, feminist, anti-fascist, democratic socialist. How dare they say that I am 45% liberal. Do you see that shit? Apparently that's my like least bad one, but they say I'm 45% liberal. Dear God. Okay. That is not what that means, guys. Anyway, screw all of you. I hate you, okay? All right. I'm very, very radical, guys. I'm very radical. How dare you? Okay. Yay. I want to see what closest matches are. Okay, so these are just the ones that are most like me. All right, got it. Okay. All right, I'm 45% libbed up, apparently. Liberal alert. Okay, that sounded like a cat. It meant to be an alarm. No, Sam, I won't do that. Not today, because it's 100 questions. Oh, I hate all of you. Okay, whatever. Okay, let's see here. There you go, guys. So that was kind of fun, wasn't it? That was kind of fun. You know what I got to do, guys? I got to pee. I have got to pee. So I'm going to go pee, and then I'll be right back, and we have some fun stuff to do. All right, we got more fun stuff. Yay! I'm a goddamn Marxist. Anyone surprised by that? Given that I was literally a Marxist anthropologist, I should probably, I literally, that was my intellectual approach to anthropology and history. I mean, not anthropologist, historian. Okay, anyway. So, everyone ready? Let's go and, moving on here, right? I'll be right back. Love you all very much. Behave while I'm gone, okay? Behave. Behave, all right? I'll be right back in a second.
How do we close this door? How do you switch up your mindset?
on a tightrope, and I wish I could touch the ground. My future's covered in smoke, but my head is up in the clouds. And maybe this will all fade after one bad day, and I'll be okay.
Kamala, what? What are you doing out there? I don't trust you. What have you all been up to? What have you all been up to? Anyway. All right. Don't trust you people. The nonsense plotting you do when I'm gone. All right, I know. Okay, I right, Lemira. I doubt that. I'm sure you did plot. I'm sure you did plot to overturn us. Okay, I'm sure you guys did plot a revolution. I need to call in the Pinkertons to break up this union. Alyssa, you say, why do you hate Matt Saigai so much? Why? What did I do? What did I do that made Matt Saigai think that I hate him or whatever? Okay, what did I do? All right, Lemira, thank you for the contribution. Really, thank you for the contribution. Lemira says, in other news, it's almost St. Patrick's Day. Yay! F1 Addict is here. Hello, you're right, Lemira. Yay! Can't wait to get wasted. So, thank you very much. I did. I said thank you. I said thank you to Matt Saigai when he gifted 5 memberships. Do you not remember? I said thank you, Matt Saigai, for gifting the 5 memberships. How dare you? Okay. Okay. Invalid axiom. Don't worry, CR. The majestic chattator maintained. Thank you. I'm sorry, Sylvia. I'm sorry for ruining the song for you. What am I messing here? I literally said thank you to Matt Saigai while I was streaming. Someone tell me, you remember that when I said thank you, Matt Saigai, for the gifted memberships? I said that. All right. Okay. So peeing is liberal coded. How dare you, invalid axiom? Am I missing anyone? Am I missing anything? Everyone's a little bit liberal. Okay. Okay, you're all lying. All right, my niece and nephew tortured me this morning and accused me of being a Trumpster. Well, I mean, Mayflower kid, I mean, just kidding. You're not. All right, everybody's a little bit fascist or authoritarian. I hate onions so much. I wish they didn't. Oh my God, Trump failed. You're awful. I'll do my Duolingo. Good, you should, Drizella. All right. Yeah, apparently it wasn't appreciative enough, I guess. Okay. He's too rich to right. I'm so rich, Matt Saigai. Okay. Do you hear about the risk there's Iran might hit California with? No, they're not. They're not going to hit. There is no risk that they're going to hit California with drones. All right. I know I heard that, but it's not true. And as in the government administration's lying. Antifa, another migrant was found dead in PA. Yeah. I don't love this country. Okay, guys. So a few things here. Well, let's hand out some boops. I think we need to do some boops before we continue. And then I wanted to yell at a liberal with all of you. Okay. After we do some boops. Okay. Who wants a boop? Sylvie, you get a boop. Boop. Doug gets a boop. Boop. Gwen gets a boop. Boop. Thank you, Mayflower Kid. Okay. F1 Addict gets a boop. Boop. Dolly Boy gets a boop. Boop. Despite what I think is best, I will give Dolly that boop. Okay. Who else? LaCroix gets a boop. Boop. Paul Squaw gets a boop. Boop. Jonas gets a boop from a distance. Boop. And body swap gets a boop. Boop. There you go. Body swap gets 2 boops. Boop. Because body swap is very loyal. Okay. Mithril gets a boop. Boop. Dolly Boy, I've grown numb to it. I know at this point, Dolly Boy, that it's basically a condition you have. And I don't want to be ableist. So I will let you continue saying the nonsense that comes out of your mouth because I'm a respectful person. Lemira gets a boop. Boop. Did I give invalid axiom? I probably did already give invalid axiom. I'm sorry, Dolly Boy. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. I'm joking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. I know. Trump failed gets a boop. Boop. All right. Matt Saigai gets a boop. Boop. Alyssa, you get a bonk. Bonk, and you get a bromp. Bromp, I remove your last boop. Okay? You are betraying me. You are betraying me. Okay? I see you. You're plotting with Matt Saigai there. So despite you, bye-bye, Sam. Good to see you. You get a boop, Sam. Boop. So despite you, being one of the originals, you lose. Mayflower Kid, you get a bonk. Bonk for throwing the goddamn tomato at me. They're all a bunch of traitors. Did I miss anyone? Anyone else want a boop? Anyone else want a boop? Did I miss? Aurel gets a boop. Boop. Anyone else want a boop? Anyone else want a boop? Anyone else want a boop? No? No? No one else wants a boop? Anyone? I missed anyone who wants a boop? This is your last chance for a boop for a while. And your groove gets a boop. Boop. There you go. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anyone to get a boop. Alyssa, if the shoe fits. Okay? All right. Aren't you at work, Alyssa? Oh, God. All right. Druzilla gets a boop. Boop. Wake up, Druzilla! Wake up! All right. Anyway. Okay, guys. Let's continue, right? We have some other stuff to do. So you got some fun stuff here. LaQuabois gets a boop. Boop. Oh, Outer Signal gets a boop. Boop. Oh, look at that. Outer Signal. Body swap reminded me to boop you. All right. All right. Okay. All right, guys. You could, Mayflower Kid. You know, Mayflower Kid, you fed my entire family for a day, so thank you. Dolly Boy, wake up, Dolly Boy. Okay, don't make me kick you out of the classroom. There you go, Trump. Trump failed. You get a boop. Boop. You get 2 boops because you're making fun of Map Sci Guy. Boop, boop. There you go. That's actually 3. All right, guys. Whatever. We're continuing. Let's go on. Let's go on. So. That's what. Oh my God, hilarious, Sylvie. So I thought it'd be kind of funny. I didn't. Okay, fine. Invalid axiom. You get a boop. Boop. My mistake. Okay. Let's watch this. So this is. I got to tell you, this guy is a lib. All right, he's a bit of a lib. And Dolly Boy, you're right. I actually like this guy a lot of the time. A lot of time he does really funny things. Okay, but I haven't seen much of what he does. But I started watching this one because he's good at making fun of Trump and the Republicans. I never knew he was kind of libbed up until I watched this one. And I wanted to lose my mind. God in mind. So for those who don't know, in the United States, right, a lot of Democrats are really libbed up. Okay, and they're like blindly obedient to the Democratic Party, and they think like Kamala Harris and Biden are great and they're angels, and they could do no wrong. Okay, and I didn't know that this guy might kind of be one of those people. And so he posted this, and it hasn't gotten nearly as many views as most of his stuff does because I think it pissed people off, where he is blaming online leftists. You'll see. He's blaming leftists for something, and I want you to hear what he's blaming people for, okay? And yeah, LaCroix, a lot of libs and Democratic centrists blame the left for Kamala losing the election. And I am so sick of this narrative, it infuriates me, okay? Okay. By the way, most of us voted for Kamala anyway, right? Anyway, so let's watch. Let's see what, the conservatives are doing it too. And it drives me crazy because the Democratic Party is always done this. You know, even though it's not the left's fault, it's the Democratic Party's fault. All right. So his pants are nice. Lib center left, con center right. Yeah. So let's take a look at this, and I'd blame Biden for running, right? Well, also just Kamala Harris ran a bad campaign, And the left was telling her that she needed to do things differently, and she didn't listen because she's been bribed. Same thing with Biden. And the results were obvious. The only part of the political spectrum, guys, we have not yet tried in this country is the left. We've tried the far right. We've tried the center right. We've tried the center left. Or not the center left. We've tried basically the center. A little bit to the right of the center, which is Biden. We have not tried the left, okay? And yet we keep getting blamed for everything. Ugh, okay. So let's watch what he has to say, and then we can all get mad. Okay, at least I'm going to get mad. Let's watch.
Would have been just as bad as Trump, and you guys wouldn't care. On her first day in
So he's pretending to be a white leftist, by the way. Okay, a white leftist. We do, Lemire. We need a lot more progressive candidates.
office, she would have written an executive order that says that there are only 2 genders, and she would have said, we're going to get men out of women's sports. She would have taken direct hostile aim at the trans community immediately, and you guys just would have
lapped it up.
Question, how many leftists, white leftists, he says, have said that? Has anyone ever seen a white leftist say that Kamala would have immediately targeted trans people in office? Because I've never heard a single person say that.
Kamala Harris had been elected president, she'd be slapping her name on everything. She'd be all, this is the Kamala Harris Center for the Performing Arts now. This is now the Gulf of Kamala. And you guys would be like, go off, queen.
That's so Brad.
The crazy thing is that if she...
Is that true? Okay, that's fair, Sylvie. Maybe some leftists do say we'd be in the same situation with Kamala. I don't think that's what they meant. They probably meant like Gaza and shit like this, right? Okay, but that's fair, Sylvie. But like, what? Also, I love how, let's see, okay, here's a test. I didn't watch the full thing, but here's a test for you. Let's see if he brings up the Gaza thing. Because we now know from internal reports in the Democratic Party that one of the big reasons they lost is because the Democrats refused to take a good position on Gaza. So if he brings up the Gaza thing, that is what he should be bringing up, because a lot of leftists were deeply upset about that, all right? I bet he won't, though. He's talking about things that are useless, okay, are absolutely not big issues. Like, honestly, yeah, Trump named things after himself. That's hardly the worst thing he did. That is a very libbed thing to be obsessing about, okay? The fact that he thinks that that's like a horrible thing that Trump did. There's other things Trump has done that are worse, all right? But anyway, let's see... All right, let's move it on. Yeah, I think Kamala was partially funded by AIPAC, regardless. Yeah.
She was elected president, she 1000% would have let Elon Musk and a gang of unhinged 19-year-old incels just absolutely run amok through the federal government. Just taking a buzzsaw to several
That's fair,
departments,
Lemire.
just absolutely eliminate.
Lemire, that's fair. I haven't heard this stuff, but if other people have, let me know, because I have. That's interesting.
Hundreds, thousands of jobs, claiming they're uncovering hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud and saving trillions, but actually not doing any of those things. That totally would have happened regardless of who had won the 2024 presidential election. You wouldn't have even
Criticized her for it.
if you genuinely don't think that Kamala Harris would use tens of billions of taxpayer dollars to tear down the East Wing of the White House and build herself her own personal ballroom, I don't know what to tell you. You're not...
Again, I have never heard leftists say this. I don't know what he's talking about. I've never heard a leftist say that Kamala would have done that. I really don't, okay?
You're not living in reality. Do you seriously not think that she would have begged for a Nobel Peace Prize and then stolen someone else's when they refused to give her one?
Who has ever said that? I've literally never heard that.
That the chairman of the FCC was a loyalist to her party so that she could punish late night hosts and journalists when they give her unfavorable
Right,
press. She just would have done that. Blue MAGA.
Guys, there is blue MAGA. I'm sorry. There is absolutely blue MAGA. Okay? There's absolutely a blue MAGA. Okay? They absolutely exist. If you go on Twitter, there are a lot of lib Democrats that believe insane things that are very much like MAGA. I'm not joking. They believe that the election was stolen from that Trump didn't actually win the election, that it was stolen from Kamala. They believe that, all the whole problem, the whole reason Kamala lost was because of the left and because she was a black woman. They believe they think that like Nancy Pelosi is this godlike figure who can do no wrong. They believe a bunch of real loony stuff. Really, really, really loony stuff. Okay. Now they're not as bad as MAGA because their intentions aren't fascist, but they believe crazy stuff. Okay. Okay. But hey, Gwen, that isn't the same as like illegally that's not the same as like faking an election, which is what they say. Yeah, Jonas. Okay, and okay. They okay.
Blue MAGA.
I didn't do this. I'm not responsible at all for what's going on in the world right now. Oh my God, Kamala Harris 1000% would have been in the Epstein files over 1,000,000 times. Like
No one says that. No one says that. I have never heard a leftist say that Kamala Harris would have been in the Epstein files. No one, okay?
She isn't in the files at all, but if we had elected her president, she would have been, and you guys would have thought it was fine. The guy in charge of our entire healthcare system would still be RFK. We gotta be honest with ourselves about that one. That was happening no matter what. She would have hired an alcohol.
No, so guys, look at the title here, Bright Love. Terminally online leftist desperately coping with fumbling one of the easiest choices in American political history, which implies that leftists were the reason why Kamala lost the election.
Ex-news host with no military experience to be the Secretary of Defense and then renamed him the Secretary of War, and you guys would have called her a girl boss for that. That's just how that would have gone down. She'd have done the tariffs. I hate to break it to you.
She'd have done the tariffs.
It's just...
And by the way, guys, honestly, a lot so yeah. But that's the thing, Alyssa. This is a false equivalency, right? A false equivalency, because there are reasons why they said these things, right? Because she probably would have been basically the same when it comes to Gaza, right? Okay, basically the same when it comes to Gaza. All right.
Genuinely so crazy that you guys don't think Kamala Harris would have made the ICE budget 100 times what it used to be, and then pardon all of the January 6th insurrectionists and hire them to be masked soldiers for her private Nazi army. She would have done that. It would have been bad no matter what. She would have kidnapped the president of Venezuela. She would have killed the Ayatollah of Iran. She would have threatened to take over Greenland and Cuba and Canada.
I'm just gonna lose my mind.
All while claiming she ended 9 separate
I know,
wars
Dolly Boy.
that she can't name. Actually, it'd probably be...
Yeah, it's not satire, guys. He's trying to criticize. He's saying leftists are to blame for Kamala losing the election, and it's and that he clearly, they're saying that she is completely the same as Trump. Now, maybe some of them said she's the same as Trump, but they don't. They're referring to Gaza, from what I remember in the election, okay? Because she would have basically been a lot of the same stuff as Trump when it comes to Gaza.
Worse. So you should be
Not all of it.
thanking me. You actually expect me to believe that you don't think Kamala Harris would have made a concentration camp for children, called it Alligator Alcatraz, and then sold
But see, no one said
merchandise
that.
for that concentration camp? You don't think that would have happened? Really?
Yeah, look at this. Now he's mad because there were leftists coming into his chat and saying that that the whole video is a straw man. It is. The whole video is a straw man. Okay. We're not even halfway done yet, he says. Don't worry, we're not going to watch the whole thing.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about a video.
So, Invalid Axiom, you say, why are we watching this again, CR? I don't see much value in it. There's value in this because my point here, Invalid Axiom, is that the Democratic Party in the United States is not on your side, and a lot of Democrats are completely brainwashed in support of the Democratic Party, and they're not really on your side, okay? The Democratic Party always blames the left wing for every time they lose, even though the left wing has never had power and will not have power, okay, or is not getting power. But the Democratic Party and liberals are always blaming the left, even though it was their candidates that failed to win an election, okay? Yeah, okay.
Video that I posted yesterday. If you haven't seen it already, you should. It's fun. It looks like the video that is currently on the screen, and it's over on my account. But I was taking shots at the terminally online white leftist protest vote.
Why does he also, I don't like, it's also very libbed up to be like these white leftists, terminally online white leftists. What is, I feel targeted, okay, because I am a terminally online white leftist. But okay, I'm not terminally online, but
voter community, the people who refused to vote for Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election and still to this day
guys, you know who's terminally online and typically white? Liberals. Liberals, okay? They're the ones who don't see why Kamala Harris and Biden were not good choices. Okay? They're the ones who aren't being who aren't as affected by the poverty and shit. So they're like, oh, we can just kind of mess around the edges. Mess around the edges kind of shit, okay? Like, that's exactly what he is. I don't get it. But, like, I just had to share this with you guys because it makes me lose my mind. Yeah, so, like, it's so disconnected from reality. Yeah, of course he will. He'll target a lot of these leftists that he's talking about are not white, all right? Yeah, exactly, Lemire. But see, that's the thing, guys. It's a racist thing. I'm not even joking. A lot of times when libs talk about like the white left, they're doing that because they're trying to present themselves as being advocates of racial justice, and in doing so, they're actually not. Because a lot of the left are people of color. It's a very left. I mean, a lot of the left are not white. Like, most of the left, I would say, isn't white, in my opinion, okay, from what I've seen. But they are so, anyway, you see what I mean? Yeah, he's kind of vice signaling, or he's not vice signaling, he's trying to virtual signal. He's trying to make it appear as though he's fighting for people of color while going against, while supporting candidates who have not been helpful to people of color, okay? All right.
Refuse to own their obvious culpability in the state of the world currently. And people in that community are notoriously some of the most loudly hollering hit dogs on the internet. So unsurprisingly, my comment section was full of them proving me right with zero self-awareness.
Yes, Sylvie, this is like the white friend you got that tries so hard not to be racist that they end up being racist, right? Yeah.
Out this
yeah, exactly, RL. Caucasians are the minority on the far left. If you like, I got to tell you, all right, and I'm fine with that. I'm just saying.
In true Gem saying, well, we did what we did because genocide is a red line for us. We actually care about genocide. We are anti-genocide.
Yes.
And you are pro-genocide.
Exactly.
Not only is this take objectively incorrect and wildly insulting, it's also just...
Wait a minute. Okay. Okay.
Kind of funny because if you ask any of these sanctimonious assholes to explain to you how their entirely self-serving and performative protest vote was meant to produce substantive results.
Guys, look at this. I hate this. I hate this. This is what I hate. You see what he's doing? He's criticizing people who didn't want to vote because of genocide. And I am so sick of this narrative from liberals. Like, he's saying, well, there's people that didn't vote because she would have supported genocide. I cannot believe they did that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I like the moral bankruptcy of like looking at people who chose not to vote because they didn't want to support genocide either way. Like, I get it. I get people that are upset that a lot of people didn't vote for Kamala. But whose fault is that? That is the Democratic Party's fault. That is the Democratic Party's fault. It was clear that they should have not supported Gaza. All right? Like, all right. Of course people aren't going to vote if they have to choose between the genocideer and the genocideer. Right? I'm just so sick of this. Like, those people that didn't vote, they're so sanctimonious about genocide. All right. I cannot...
the people in Gaza, how it was meant to substantively make those people safer, they won't be able to answer that question. The best they can do is say that it would have been just as bad no matter what, so it's a wash. And the best we can say is, well, I guess we'll never fucking know, will we? The reality is that leftists who voted for Kamala Harris did not do so because we are pro-genocide. We did it.
You're not a leftist. You're not a leftist. Why is he calling himself a leftist? He doesn't know. Yeah, and the protest vote was very small. All right, so okay.
Strategic move for harm reduction. We were trying to advocate.
No, you're right, Lamira. If Kamala Harris won, things wouldn't be as bad as they are now, 100%. But it's still. Remember what I said before, guys. In order to fight the fascism, we need major reforms. She would not have been that candidate that does major reforms. She would not have been that candidate. Okay, and there still would have been definitely genocidal shit going on in Gaza. That is, I can pretty much guarantee that. But it's so, okay. And obviously, leftists were screaming about this and saying that you need to put up a candidate that is a populist left-wing person. At least a progressive. Doesn't even mean it has to be a leftist. Just a progressive in order to beat Donald Trump. And we weren't listened to, of course. The left was not listened to, even though all the evidence showed it was right. As happens all the time. We never get listened to. And then the Democratic Party always blames us for their mistakes. Hello, Macon. Thank you so much for the donation, Macon. Really, Macon says, I got woke scolded by some libs a while back when I said that Klobuchar is very much like Republicans. Klobuchar is a Republican, basically. She's like a right-wing Democrat, which is basically a Republican. Okay. The point was to say that we primary her, but they were like, I hope you enjoy Governor Lindell in that case. I'm going to lose my mind.
For the safety of trans people and queer people and people of color and immigrants and disabled people and women here in the United States, while also advocating for the safety and liberation and self-determination of the Palestinian people. What protest voters did is they said, I am so committed.
And guys, admittedly, Kamala did pretty well at the beginning. She had a very populist message. She was saying that she wanted to reduce grocery prices. I remember listening to her first speech and I'm like, okay, Kamala, it looks like, okay, I can go with this. But then as she started, just like every other politician, she's a human being, she started getting tons of donations from big corporations and the wealthy. And then she started going around with Liz Cheney. Someone was giving her very bad advice, okay? Because the consultants around a lot of these Dems are all the same. And she, became a politician and started doing what the donors wanted. So that's what every politician does, all right, except for those who don't accept those donations. All right.
To making this self-serving, performative gesture of my support for the Palestinian people, that I am willing to throw all of those other vulnerable and marginalized communities under the bus so that I can do this performative gesture that helps no one while making everything worse for everyone.
Wait, I really don't get this. So is he saying that that's the why she lost is because of the left? Like, is that really what he's saying? Because the stats are completely the opposite of that. That is not why they lost. A lot of people went out to vote. Trump won by a pretty big margin everywhere. It was not the left that caused this problem. It's almost like he's trying to cope with the failures of the Democrats by blaming the left. God, it's pretty obvious he's not looking at the data. I'm just so sick of this, guys. We're never going to learn. The Democratic Party's never going to learn. They're never going to learn. They're never going to learn. Because they don't want to learn, because they're dependent on big money donors. Yeah, you're right. They just won't look in the mirror, Lamira. It's so obvious. Oh my God. All right. I'm so frustrated. Because, guys, I bet a lot of us would love the Democratic Party if it actually ran on a labor-focused left-wing. A lot of us would be excited to go out and vote for someone like AOC. Even if she's not perfect, we at least would be excited for it. But they just cannot do it. They just won't do it because they're owned by goddamn the wealthy and the powerful. Right, RL. A lot of minorities didn't vote because the Democrats weren't offering them anything. God, anyway.
The argument I saw in my comments was, of course, people saying, well, it's not our fault. It's the DNC's fault. They ran a bad campaign.
I didn't do fucking shit.
Wired, I don't know and I don't care. Elon Musk is a lunatic and I would never vote for any party he creates ever, 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 and no one should.
Shit!
I didn't fucking do this! We need a performance
Unless they vote for him instead of the Republicans, in which case that might split the vote, and I'm all for that.
review. We don't need to blame voters for voting for the things that they voted for. Look, you can run from this all you want. The reality is you had a choice in this situation. You had a say. You had an opportunity to directly influence the outcome of this election.
I'm not going to say, okay, yes, that is partially true. That is partially true. Of course, we don't really have a democracy. It's an oligarchy. Both parties are bought off. But okay, stop blaming the voters. As always, stop blaming the voters. The Democrats need to do better.
And you managed somehow to fuck it up.
They do,
It was
RL.
one of the most obvious, most glaringly clear.
Oh my God, he's projecting, guys. Oh my God, he is projecting. Who is it? Who is it that fucked up? The most glaring, obviously big fuck up was the Democratic Party and Kamala's campaign. That was the big F up. That is the most, and yet, oh my God, it's projection.
Decisions in the history of the American electoral system, and somehow you managed to colossally fumble it. I don't care
The Democrats did, not the left.
what your armchair opinion is on how they should have run their campaign, on what they could have or should have done better. At the end of the day, you knew what the options were, and you fucking chose wrong. Then, of course, we saw this one, the people saying, oh, well, there aren't enough third-party voters.
Wait a minute. It's almost like he's implying that the leftists actually voted for Trump, right? He's like, you chose wrong. I don't think there were any leftists going out to vote for Trump. Like, of maybe like a very small number who are anarchists or like accelerationists, but we're like, probably like none, right? He's making it... It's not like the leftist side of the election. We're very small in the United States. It's just, oh my God, it's just scapegoating.
To have swung
It should have, guys, you're right. It would have been so easy to beat Trump. It would be very easy to beat Trump if you had a populist who was intelligent that went against him. It would be so easy. Oh my God. I know, right, Loiso? Please stop watching him before I join the Air Force. Oh God, no, Loiso. To get my citizenship and vote R in the midterms just to spite this rotten piece. I know. I know, Gwen, right? Like, I voted for Kamala, too. Yes, I voted for Kamala because I didn't want Trump. Did I want to vote for her? No. But but I don't blame the people who didn't vote for her or who didn't vote at all because the options are shit. And I still feel gross for having to have chosen between the two.
Election for Kamala anyway, so it doesn't matter what I did. It would have gone for Trump no matter what. I am genuinely so sick and tired of explaining basic math to protest voters, but I am going to lock in and do it anyway. So, Joe Biden got 81 million...
No, TJ, I couldn't do that. I'm not going to speed up the inevitable when the inevitable could be nuclear war or like mass imperialist conquest of foreign countries or concentration camps. So I would never vote for Trump in my life. But like, I don't blame people. Yeah, I had to choose between the douche or the turd sandwich, and I didn't want Trump to win presidency again because I knew he was a fascist. But still, like, notice though that because I mean, it's just a mess. Yeah, exactly. But like, I get it though. I get it. Like, I get people who didn't vote, and I'm not going to blame them. I almost didn't. I got to tell you. But okay.
Million votes in 2020. Kamala Harris got 75 million votes in 2024. That's a drop-off of 6 million voters. Kamala Harris lost the popular vote to Donald Trump by about 2 million votes. A little under 3 million people voted third party. So if we give Kamala Harris all of the third party votes, she narrowly wins the popular vote.
First of all, we don't know that people would have voted for, honestly, I've never seen the point in voting third party. We can debate this, okay? It does typically just it basically then just gives the votes to the right wing. But we don't know that people who didn't vote third party would have voted for Kamala, nor do we know if they would have voted at all, okay? In the United States, the history here of third parties is not good, okay? And so, but it doesn't matter, right? We can debate that because, like, but anyway. Yeah, the popular vote, okay, it's a waste of time, right? I don't know.
When we're counting the total tally.
Yeah, and no, you're right, Lequabois. The votes for the Green Party, the Matt Sai guy, you need to learn American history, okay? Trust me, when it comes to third parties, It does not work that easily in the United States. I can give multiple examples. Because our two-party system, that's why we have two parties, is because whenever there's a third party, it disappears or doesn't have any power. It's almost inherent to the system. It's a big problem. But regardless, yeah, it doesn't even matter, guys, because if you look at the swing states where the votes mattered, the voting for the Green Party didn't matter. The popular vote is irrelevant. Okay, only the Electoral College matters in this regard, and the Green Party did not affect that. Okay, it didn't. So he's just making shit up at this point. And I don't blame people who voted for the Green Party. I don't at all. All right.
Of protest voters, we have to count absentee
Yeah,
voters.
exactly. Invalid axiom. The U.S. has a capitally captured duopoly. All right.
As well. The people who chose to abstain from voting at all in protest. Those 6 million voters that voted for Joe Biden but not for Harris went somewhere. We have to count them as well. If we give her all 6 million of the votes that dropped off, she wins the election in a landslide. This is not difficult.
This guy is so annoying. I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. And there's a lot of blue MAGA people out there just like him.
Arithmetic. You're only pretending not to get it because you're coping. You are trying desperately to find a way
That's
that
true,
this
body
doesn't
swap. And there's nothing wrong. Guys, I want to point out, I'm not, forgive me. If I'm implying that voting for the Green Party is bad, I'm not. Okay, I think that's good for you. Do what you want to do. I'm just saying I don't do it because I've not really seen a third party that I feel could win, if that makes sense, at all. But this is complicated, but you do what you want. I'm not someone who's judgmental about it.
To be your fault. I didn't fucking do this! Also, sorry, just going back, for the people who said they needed to run a better campaign, this person said, why couldn't they—
Is that true? Guys, I honestly don't know much about Jill Stein. People are saying she's a Russian asset or a Russian shill. Is that true? I haven't heard about that. Interesting.
just try appealing to leftists? I'm sorry, what about let's all work together to make sure that the far-right authoritarian theater—
Wait, what is he doing? He's trying to push away leftists instead of working together, right? That's exactly what he's doing. He's like, what are you trying to do? Push away? What do you think the Democratic Party is doing? They're constantly pushing away the leftists. Constantly pushing away the leftists. Like, what? They only yell about this when it has to— okay. I'm going to lose my mind. Okay, anyway.
Democratic ultra-nationalist cabal of billionaire pedophiles doesn't take over the world, doesn't appeal—
Yes, so why does the Democratic Party keep losing and refusing to change their strategy if it's such a big problem? Because they're bribed. They're bribed, all right? They've been bribed. They're corrupt, and we need new people in there.
To your progressive leftist sensibilities enough. Like, I get that you're not getting your anti-capitalist socialist wish list all in one go, but
we're not asking for that. Oh my God, we're not asking for that. I am not asking for a switch to socialism right away. I'm asking for common sense reforms to give people something so they stop voting for the right wing. Things like universal health care, which every other country has, basically. I mean, industrialized, country or whatever. Okay, like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose it.
A mega supervillain to defeat. You need to fucking focus. Then, of course, there are other people who—
I don't know if I can watch much more of it. We'll watch a couple more minutes.
We're saying no one's actually saying that stuff, Austin. You're just making that up. You're living in a fantasy world. What they're referring to is the stuff I was saying in the original video, the video I posted yesterday. In that video, I was talking about all of the terminally online white leftist protest voters who were saying things would have been just as bad no matter who won the election, and you guys would have loved it if a Democrat had done all this stuff. And I was basically just taking that argument.
Guys, you know what? I believe that there probably are leftists out there that say things like that. Okay, I'll say that. But this guy isn't stupid. Every stupid thing a liberal says, I don't say all liberals believe it. Okay? So yeah, online, people say all kinds of shit, right? This guy's kind of a snowflake, right? He sees like one bad comment online and he suddenly thinks all socialists or all lefties, are bad or whatever or dumb. Idiot, okay?
It's logical conclusion and saying, if you genuinely think that all of the stuff that's happened in the last 15 months would have happened under a Harris presidency, you are not being honest or serious. But people in my comments were no one's actually saying that. No,
the left has no power. The left has no power, too. This is like You're fighting. You're strawmanning and you're fighting ghosts.
No one's actually making that argument. Okay, then who the fuck is this
Yeah,
saying that
RL.
it would have been less visible, but definitely just as bad? Who the fuck is this saying that it would have been
Yes, LaCroix, thank you. One tanky is mean to him, and now the entire left is evil. Right? He's shadowboxing. Thank you, Invalid Axiom. I couldn't remember it.
worse? It would have been worse. Who's
Okay.
this?
We get the idea. We're done. Okay. I don't think we need to we don't need to continue this. I think we get the idea. I don't want to bore anyone. I just needed to vent with that to some people because I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay. Yeah. So, and I'm gonna put my face up, guys. Like, this stuff is not uncommon. Like, there are a lot of libs and stuff out there who are constantly complaining about this shit. Okay, saying that the left is to blame. And just okay. How dare you, Invalid Axiom? So you just Invalid Axiom, you don't get it, right? If you're in America, these kind of people are all over the place. The whole Democratic Party is one of these people. And that's how we're supposed to that's how we're supposed to, like, how are we supposed to get power if the left is constantly being attacked by the Democratic Party shills who are blindly obedient to the corrupt Democrats? Anyway, okay. I know. Sorry, guys. Stop being a reactionary lib, my guy. Exactly, guys. I love you. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. The criticism against communism are valid, but that doesn't mean she was like you know, she wouldn't have been nearly as bad as Trump. It depends on how you equate that. But as I said before, the issue here is we need major changes, and she definitely wasn't offering that. She was another kind of regular Dem, corpo Dem. All right. Oh, I know, Sylvia. All right. Okay. Anyway. All right. Let's see here, Jonas. What's this, Jonas? Who's Hannah Spencer? Who is Hannah Spencer? Oh, okay. This